An actor stands on stage during an awards show, wishing he could be ugly just for one day. Gripping his trophy, he delivers the punchline, explaining that he is ugly every single day. The audience laughs and applauds, but the cheers feel completely unwelcome to him. He thinks they only laugh because he is not handsome. Just as a truck's headlights glare at him, lying injured on the ground, he remembers finally winning the supporting actor award. As his life fades, he regrets his final words were about his looks, calling it a meaningless end. He faintly hears a song about being born to be loved, and questions if it could apply to him. On the street, shocked bystanders can only stare at the tragic scene unfolding before them. The dying man dismisses the thought, believing he is too ugly for that as he questions the song. He finds himself in a vast white space, wondering if this could possibly be heaven. He feels confident, thinking that if he does not deserve to be in heaven, then no one does. He was Lee Han-jo, an acclaimed supporting actor also known as the Angel Without Wings. His reputation came from being serious about his volunteer work and the donations he made. The actor recalls making a large donation, though he wished he could have given more, and so he knows there are limits to his career and wonders if an angel will come to guide him. Suddenly, a glowing message appears right in front of him, stating he is born to be loved. He is stunned by this, recognizing the phrase from the song he heard just before his death. The screen changes, telling him to state 3 wishes but warning that everything has a price. The man is completely bewildered by the situation, wondering if heaven is a contactless system. He calls out for an angel, insisting his good deeds deserve a proper reward as the screen changes. The screen repeats its offer but Lee Han-jo feels rushed. He knows a chance to be reborn is rare but the system's warning about a price still lingers. He considers the consequences, accepting that nothing in life is free. Undeterred, he decides it is worth the risk to make his wishes anyway. A confident smile spreads across his face as he contemplates the 3 wishes he is about to make. For his first wish, he audaciously asks for a quintillion wishes, questioning why he should settle for only 3 when anything can be granted. And so the system responds, explaining that in exchange, the law of causality will be adjusted as the price for his good deeds. The message is clear. He becomes worried, feeling like he just stepped on a landmine. He decides he needs to be cautious with his remaining wishes to protect himself, and his second wish is for good health. He holds up 2 fingers, understanding that physical well-being is the foundation for everything else in life. He then turns his attention to his third and final request, the one that he desires more than anything else. With a slight blush, he makes his most heartfelt wish to be reborn as a conventionally handsome man. He dreams of playing lead roles and giving back to those in need. A message appears, confirming that his wish will be granted. The system acknowledges him as a good person and approves a new life based on his deeds and the adjusted law of causality, much to his surprise. He is told this is his reward for living virtuously. A blinding light engulfs him as the system gives him one final command: do not forget. And so sudden force sends him reeling backward, and he cries out as he is thrown through the empty white space. As he continues to fall, the final message echoes around him, reminding him that he is a person who was born to be loved. And so his consciousness fades as he passes through a strange portal, with snowflakes gently falling all around him. The first thing he feels upon waking is a deep, bone-chilling cold. He finds himself lying inside a simple cardboard box. His body feels frozen stiff, and he tries to call for help, but the only sound that escapes his lips is the helpless wail of a newborn baby. He can hear a child crying and slowly comes to the shocking realization that the cries are his own. He looks down at his own tiny hands and feet, the unbelievable truth of his situation slowly dawning on him. He finally accepts his fate. Since he died in his previous life, it only makes sense that he could be reborn into a new one. He questions his terrible fate, wondering why he is freezing to death the moment he is reborn into the world. Left in a box at a doorstep, he knows crying is the only thing a helpless baby can do to get attention, and he cannot believe his good deeds led to him being an orphan, and he feels his vision fading as the cold sets in. Just as he is about to lose consciousness, he hears a distant voice shout that there is a baby outside. A nun picks him up, her face filled with shock. In his mind, the baby silently thanks her for saving him, and she looks at him with pity, remarking that whoever abandoned him could have at least chosen a warmer day. The nun comforts the crying child, who internally notes that his new baby voice actually sounds quite cute. But with a warm and gentle smile, she then offers the shivering infant something to drink from a bottle. As she feeds him, he realizes with some surprise that he is drinking baby formula for the first time. He worries that being reborn as an orphan will cause his adult intelligence to regress, feeling like he was scammed. But then, the nun suddenly gasps, looking down at him with an expression of complete astonishment. She exclaims that she has never seen such a pretty baby before, which leaves him utterly confused. The woman continues to praise his big eyes and cute nose, saying he is even prettier than babies on TV. Her words trigger a sudden memory of the third wish he made just before he died, to be conventionally handsome. He recalls the system's message which had confirmed his wish would be granted, and a look of understanding crosses his face. He realizes his wish was indeed fulfilled as he looks up at the nun's admiring expression, and she gently gently checks his temperature, relieved that he seems perfectly fine despite being left in the freezing cold. He finds it strange he is not sick, remembering he is a fragile newborn and not a resilient adult. The nun coos over how healthy he seems, remarking that he is exceptionally so for a newborn in his situation, and this reminds him of his second wish for good health, and he understands that this wish was also granted. Having confirmed his second and third wishes, the reincarnated actor now wonders what became of his very first request. The kind nun continues to hold him, patting his back gently as he lets out a small hiccup. He looks up at her with a serious expression, silently thanking her for the care she has shown him. He can tell her loving gaze is sincere, and as she cares for him, he grabs her finger, wishing her well in his thoughts. The baby then flashes a bright happy smile, which catches the nun completely by surprise. She is captivated by his charm, hugging him tightly as a strange text box suddenly appears before his eyes. And so, the message states that he pleased the sister with his bright smile, leaving him utterly bewildered. A second message follows, informing him that 100 love and peace coins have been generated, adding to his confusion. The system then asks if he wants to use the coins, but he is too shocked to understand what is happening. At that moment, he remembers his very first wish to change the number of wishes to a quintillion. He wonders if this strange system is the result of that wish. It seems plausible, so he decides to try it out. Unsure how to proceed, he thinks about how to use the coins, and a new message instantly appears with instructions. He tries to shout the required phrase but only baby gurgles come out. In his mind, however, he says the words clearly. The system accepts his command and asks how he wants to use the coins. He clenches his fists in frustration, unsure of his options. While he is distracted, the nun suddenly winces and complains that her back hurts, startling him, and he looks up in alarm, worried that he might have caused her pain by squirming too much in her arms. She reassures him it is nothing, just a sign of getting older. He is touched by her selfless nature. He feels that a good person like her deserves to be blessed, but he is unsure how he could possibly help her. Just as he thinks this, the system prompt reappears, once again asking how he would like to use his coins. A realization dawns on him as he recalls his first wish, suspecting this might be the power he asked for. He wonders if everything will happen as he says. He decides to test this power by wishing for the sister's back to be healed completely. The system confirms that it will cost 100 coins to heal her. With determination, he mentally agrees to proceed with the wish. Suddenly, the nun is shocked to find her back pain is gone. He is amazed that the wish was granted so quickly and effectively. She mentions her back used to ache whenever she lifted him. She asks if something is wrong, noticing he is acting a little strangely. But then, a sharp, intense pain shoots through his tiny body as the system's warning flashes before his eyes. The sudden agony is overwhelming, causing him to cry out in shock and fear as bright energy surges around him. An X-ray view reveals the source of his suffering, showing the pain concentrated in his lower back area. The nun is startled by his sudden screams and tries to soothe him, completely unaware of what is happening. He realizes this is the price for his wish. The nun's chronic back pain has been transferred directly to him. The kind woman, now free from her own pain, worries that the baby is uncomfortable and tries to adjust her hold. And she rocks him gently. She asks how he is feeling. He knows the pain is temporary, lasting only about 10 minutes. Once the pain subsides, he smiles, feeling it was a small price to pay so the kind sister would no longer have to suffer. Now living in an orphanage, he begins to get used to his new life and the strange powers he possesses. He reflects on his situation, happy to have a healthy body and good looks, along with the ability to grant wishes, and so his ultimate goal is to debut in showbiz again. But he knows being an orphan will make the beginning of his journey difficult. He worries that con artists might target him, but he knows the biggest issue is that he is just a newborn. As he rests in his crib, he ponders the challenges that lie ahead on his new path to stardom. Later, notifications appear, showing he has earned more coins simply because his sleeping face made the sister and someone named Noah happy. He now understands how the system works. He can earn coins by making others happy with his cuteness. Spending those coins grants his wishes, but each one comes with a side effect. The back pain was brief but proved the system was effective. He is amazed by the power of his wish, knowing how difficult a herniated disc is to cure. His ability managed to fix it in a single moment. The baby then remembers the system's warning about adjusted causality, and he starts to understand the consequences of his wishes. He wonders if becoming an orphan was the price for his grand wish. He calls it a bizarre ability but accepts this new life he fought for. Despite the strange circumstances, he reminds himself that he is at least handsome and healthy, which is a good starting point. The child is filled with determination, vowing to become a lead actor in this life and star in every single blockbuster movie. As he kicks his legs with excitement, a nun walks by and assumes the little one is just waking up from his nap. She lifts him from the crib, and he is surprised that she seemed to understand his movements so easily. The sister then shows him a small metal tag, explaining that his name Gangja was written on it when he was found. He stares at the tag where the name Gangja is clearly engraved, questioning if this is truly his new identity. The baby silently processes this new information, trying to accept that this is now his name in this new life. A shocking realization suddenly hits him. His name is the same Ungja, from the famous ancient saying by Confucius. A comical image of the philosopher flashes in his mind as he processes the old-fashioned name he has been given. The nun says the family name is rusted, suggesting they can give him a new one. The baby, however, looks very unamused. She then looks at him with a gentle expression, saying she is sure he will be adopted by wonderful parents soon. He immediately understands she is talking about adoption and begins to seriously consider what his future might hold. And so the timing is important, but he knows that the kind of parents he ends up with will be the most critical factor. He thinks about people who adopt for selfish reasons and decides staying at the orphanage is a much safer option for now. The baby babbles and holds the nun's finger, thinking to himself that she is a truly good person who deserves happiness. He decides to use his coins to help her. A notification appears, stating the sister is happy hearing his cute babbling. As she holds him close, the system awards him one more love and peace coin for making the kind woman happy. He notices the coin reward has shrunk significantly and considers saving his coins for a bigger purpose. The nun affectionately calls him cute, but he pushes aside his hesitation, determined to help her. He points his finger, activating the system, which asks how he would like to use his coins. The baby babbles with a determined look, mentally wishing to make the kind sister completely healthy. However, a red notification immediately appears, informing him that he does not have enough coins for the wish. The system then explains that it costs 1,000 coins, a huge jump from the 100 it took to heal her back. This makes him wonder if her health is truly in bad shape, and he realizes he needs a new strategy to save coins. He decides the only way to earn more is to be overwhelmingly cute to generate more love and peace. As the woman looks at him with adoration, a system message confirms he has earned 1 coin for his cuteness. His adorable antics earn him another coin, and the sister continues to praise how cute he is. He tries various cute expressions and poses, but each action only earns him a single coin at a time. The nun is completely charmed by his efforts, finding him too cute to handle as she holds him. He becomes frustrated, realizing that no matter how hard he tries, he only gets 1 coin at a time from a single person. The baby concludes that to earn coins faster, he needs a bigger audience, but he is unsure how to achieve that. Just then, a young boy runs in announcing guests have arrived, which the baby sees as a golden opportunity. The nun smiles, ready to welcome the visitors. In his mind, the baby welcomes his new potential source of coins. A woman's voice calls for the boy No, who says another sister has his eczema medicine. Another nun enters, telling Sister Teresa that Ms. Masujang has arrived and they should dress the baby nicely. Hearing the name Masujang sends a jolt of shock through the baby, who seems to recognize it. Meanwhile, an elegant woman in high heels walks confidently down the hallway of the orphanage. The baby recalls a memory of Masujang with a man in a black suit, confirming his suspicions, and she angrily told the man she hated this kind of arrangement and refused to participate any further. In his memory, the chaebol here declared that she could not stand being around children at all. Back in the present, the doors to the room swing open, revealing a bright light from the hallway. The elegant woman enters the room as the nun holds the baby, who is now wearing a cute hooded outfit. She stands with an imposing and serious aura, her expression unreadable behind her stylish glasses. The baby looks at her in disbelief, confirming with himself that the nun did indeed say her name. He remembers her as the beautiful third daughter of the Sungjin group and a popular actress. He also recalls her fiery temper and impressive filmography, but there is something more important he remembers. The baby is shocked because he clearly remembers that Masujang is supposed to be dead. He glances at a nearby calendar to check the date, trying to make sense of the situation. The calendar shows January 2024, a date that sends a jolt of disbelief through his mind. He realizes he has not just been reincarnated but has actually traveled 20 years into the past. The baby is stunned, now understanding he is seeing the actress 20 years before her time. A man tries to persuade the woman to hold the baby for a promotional photo, but she is hesitant. The baby now understands she is here for a promotional photoshoot for her family's company. The woman continues to refuse, making it clear she does not want to participate in the photoshoot. He feels a strange sense of rejection, even though he has not even tried to win her over yet. With a determined look, he decides to use his special ability to change her mind and get his photo taken. He activates his power, wishing to take a photo with her. The system informs him it will cost 3 coins. With a determined look, the baby babbles pee-pa-pa and mentally confirms his decision to proceed with the wish. The system immediately announces the side effect: a red spot will appear on his foot and burn for 1 minute. Just as the notification predicted, a small fairy red spot materializes on the sole of his tiny foot. He lets out a sharp cry of pain, startling the 2 nuns, who quickly ask what is wrong with him. The baby squirms in the nun's arms, frustrated that his short baby arms cannot reach the burning spot. Tears well up in his eyes and stream down his face as he continues to cry from the unexpected pain. His loud cries successfully draw the attention of everyone in the room, including the film crew and Ma Sujong. The elegant actress turns her head, her previously indifferent expression now replaced with curiosity. With teary eyes, the baby looks exceptionally pitiful and cute, capturing the hearts of the onlookers. The camera staff is immediately charmed, and a notification appears, granting him 10 love and peace coins. The crowd begins to murmur about how adorable he is, praising his dark eyes and high nose. More notifications pop up as the managers are also captivated, earning him a total of 40 new coins. One of the female staff members approaches the nun, asking what the incredibly cute baby's name is. The sister sadly explains his name is Gangja and tells the staff the story of how he was abandoned at the convent, and the staff members are moved by his tragic story, their expressions filled with sympathy for the poor child. The baby knows that to make the tragedy more impactful, he needs to act bright and cheerful. He starts babbling and waving happily at the audience, his cheerful demeanor contrasting with his sad past. The staff is deeply touched by his resilience, and he earns a massive 50 coins from each of them. The baby's plan works perfectly, as he successfully manipulates the emotions of the entire room. Masujang, who has been quietly observing the scene, thoughtfully repeats his name to herself, and he is confident that his good looks have even managed to captivate the usually aloof Ma Sujuang. The actress hesitates, worried the baby will cry if he sees her, but the nun assures her that he is a gentle child. The baby reaches out and grabs her dress, thinking to himself that this is all for the convent's promotion. He flashes a bright, winning smile, mentally urging the actress to give him the coins he has been working for. The nun happily points out that the baby seems to like her, but the actress is still skeptical. She says that all babies hate her, recalling how her own daughter would cry whenever she held her. The sister points out that this baby is smiling and reaching for her, encouraging her to give it a try. The woman slowly and nervously extends her hands, unsure of what to do with the small child, and so, her movements are stiff and awkward as she prepares to hold a baby for the first time in a long while. She fumbles with him for a moment, clearly uncomfortable and out of her element with the small child. He gives her a reassuring smile and a cute babble, letting her know that he will not cry. A strange feeling washes over the actress as she looks down at the happy baby in her arms. Her expression softens and a light blush appears on her cheeks as she is unexpectedly charmed by him. She quickly asks for hand sanitizer, much to the confusion of the nun, but she insists. After cleaning her hands, she gently lets the baby hold her finger, a small smile playing on her lips. She is completely captivated, exclaiming how cute he is. She asks his name, which the baby finds a bit strange. The woman is even charmed by his name, cuddling him close and calling it pretty as well. The baby is a bit bewildered by her sudden change of heart, wondering if this is what people call baby therapy. He then remembers his main goal and subtly tries to remind the actress about the coins he is expecting. The actress is still amazed that he is not crying, reflecting on how even her own child used to cry just at the sight of her. The baby babbles and gently pats her cheek, thinking that no child could truly hate their own mother. The actress stares at him, admitting that even though this is the first time she has seen him, he feels strangely familiar, and so tears well up in her eyes as she looks at the baby, feeling a deep, unexplainable connection to him. She feels as though she has met him once before in a past life and leans in to give him a gentle kiss. In a tender moment she holds him close, a warm, angelic light surrounding them as the photographer captures the scene. The photographer, caught up in the beautiful moment, continues to snap pictures without realizing he is interrupting. He apologizes sheepishly, admitting that the subject was just too good to miss the perfect shot. The actress, still emotional, continues to look at the baby with tears in her eyes, lost in her thoughts. The baby reaches up and gently wipes away her tears, trying to comfort the crying woman. She is surprised by his gesture, asking if he is trying to comfort her, and he responds with a soft touch. He gently places his tiny hand on her lips, and she responds by giving his cheek a soft kiss. The baby is internally frustrated, knowing this was a perfect opportunity to earn coins, but the photographer ruined it. As the woman continues to hold him, she gently massages his foot and discovers the small red spot. She is shocked by the mark, and the nun is also surprised, admitting she had not noticed it before. The actress begins to cry again, much to the baby's confusion, as she stares at the spot on his foot. She tearfully asks why he has a spot in the exact same place as her son Maru. The baby is surprised to hear the name Maru, not Mari, the daughter she had mentioned earlier. The woman holds him tightly, reminiscing that her son Maru was also this small when he was a baby. The nun tries to comfort her, but the baby now understands that Maru was the actress's son. The woman continues to cry, saying her son also passed away early and was just as pretty as this baby. The actress tells the nun she wants to raise the child, feeling a strong connection she cannot explain. The baby is completely shocked by her sudden declaration, not expecting this sudden turn of events. The woman then turns to the nun and asks if she can take the child with her, but the baby silently refuses. She looks down at the baby, gently calling his name and asking if he understands what she is saying. With a bright, hopeful smile, she asks if she can be his mother, but the baby still silently rejects her offer. A week later, the nun asks the baby if he thinks the actress will really come for him as promised. The baby recalls the actress saying she would consult a lawyer for the adoption details, and she had also explained that since her divorce, she lives alone, as her daughter now lives with her father. The woman had promised to give the baby the best of everything, from a big house to the finest clothes and food. The baby, however, is not swayed by her promises of a lavish lifestyle, focusing instead on his own mission. He dismisses her offer as a rich woman's whim, determined to collect his coins and help the sister. But just as he thinks this, the actress returns to the convent exactly 1 week later, just as she had promised. She arrives covered in snow, apologizing for her appearance as she nervously brushes herself off. The nun is surprised to see her, and the actress immediately asks for hand sanitizer before doing anything else. The woman then looks towards the nursery, where the baby is sleeping peacefully in his crib. She calls out his name, her voice filled with emotion, and tears begin to well up in her eyes again. The actress apologizes to the nun, admitting her sudden decision to adopt a child she just met was impulsive, and she knows her actions do not make sense, but she cannot help the feelings she has for the baby. She explains that since that day, she has not been able to stop thinking about him, no matter what she does. The nun then reminds her of the spot on his foot, warning her that she will not let her adopt him based on a mere coincidence. The baby admires the nun's courage for speaking so harshly to a major sponsor, knowing she truly cares for him. He predicts the actress will get angry, but he is surprised by her unexpected response. She admits that she knows the spot is just a coincidence, which leaves the baby a bit confused. The woman then confesses that her son was not as pretty as this baby, a surprising and emotional admission. Even the nun agrees that the baby is exceptionally beautiful, which only confuses him more. The actress explains it is not just his looks but the fact that he comforted her and did not cry in her arms. The nun asks if she has discussed this with her family, but the woman explains that she lives separately and rarely sees them, and she looks at the baby and says she knows he will likely cause trouble as he gets older, just like her daughter. But she wants to be there for it all, determined to love and raise him for the rest of his life. A memory flashes in the baby's mind, his own mother from his past life, an ill-fated actress who died young. He remembers the kind of mother she was, and how much he had loved and respected her, and this memory helps him make a decision, realizing he may have already made his choice back then, and so he now desperately wants to prevent the tragedy that befell his mother in his previous life. The actress tells him she will be his mother and raise him well, her words echoing the system's message. A notification appears granting him a massive 1,000 coins for delighting the actress. The baby smiles, grateful for the coins that will allow him to repay his debt to the kind sister. The actress explains to the nun that she had been standing outside for a long time before another sister let her in. The nun listens, her expression unreadable as she processes the actress's emotional confession. The actress tells the baby she knows he does not hate her, and that thanks to him, she has made up her mind. The kind nun closes her eyes, a small, knowing smile on her face as she accepts the woman's decision. The nun smiles, genuinely happy that the baby has found a good parent to care for him. The actress thanks the nun, promising to raise the child well and provide him with everything he needs. The sister then asks if she plans to keep the name Gangja, and the actress considers it with her own family name. The baby is horrified at the thought of being named Magangja, the combination sounding utterly ridiculous to him. He begins to cry and thrash in her arms, silently begging for a different name, anything but that. The two women, however, misinterpret his cries as a sign of excitement, much to his frustration. 4 months later, a child's voice can be heard shouting his refusal from inside the convent. A young boy, No, is upset, questioning why his little brother is being taken away from him. He pleads for them not to take the baby away, but a nun gently explains that Gangja has found a good mother. The boy is heartbroken, crying that he will never be able to see his little brother again. The baby remembers that it was this boy who had found him and saved his life that cold winter day. He decides to use his coins to help the boy, wishing for him to be healthy for his entire life. The system confirms the wish will cost 30 coins, and the baby mentally agrees to proceed. As a side effect, tears will stream down his face for the next 3 minutes, making him look even more pitiful. The actress and the nun are surprised by his sudden tears, as he rarely cries. The boy approaches, telling the baby to remember him as his older brother, and promises they will always be family. The baby notices the boy's eczema has not fully healed, but he is glad the child is at least well fed. He silently promises to never forget the boy who saved him and vows to find him again once he becomes a top star. He then turns his thoughts to the nun, wishing her a long and healthy life so she can continue to help other children. He uses his remaining coins to make the sister healthy, but the side effect is that he will fall down every 10 steps for the next year. He accepts that everything comes with a price, but he is still frustrated by the constant side effects. The baby waves a small goodbye to the convent, and the actress asks if he is saying farewell. The nuns and No wave back, wishing him happiness as he leaves for his new life with his new mother. The actress holds him close as they walk away, a silhouette against the bright sky, ready to start their new life together. He is impressed by the super expensive foreign car waiting for them, a clear sign of his new family's wealth. He is even more amazed by the high-quality car seat, a level of luxury he has never experienced before. The actress smiles, promising that her new son will always have the very best of everything from now on. The baby is determined to earn more coins and decides it is time to use his charms to show his filial piety. He babbles and reaches for her, activating his power to make a wish for his new mother's health. A red notification appears informing him that it will cost a staggering 30,000 coins to make her healthy, and he is shocked by the astronomical number, wondering if his new mother neglects her health because of her wealth. He is filled with worry, realizing he cannot live without his mother now that they are a family, and so he hopes there will be a large audience at her house that he can charm to earn the coins he needs. Upon arriving, they are greeted by an older woman, the matriarch of the Sungjin group, and his new grandmother. The baby is dressed in an adorable bear costume, but his new grandmother coldly refers to him as that thing. He is shocked and offended by her callous words, a fiery anger building up inside him. A tense atmosphere fills the room as the two women face each other, lightning crackling in the background. The older woman tells her daughter to get a hold of herself, reminding her that this child is not her deceased son. The actress calmly replies that she knows and that this child's name is Gangja, not Maru, and she holds him up for her mother to see, her expression firm as she stands by her decision to adopt him. The actress proudly presents the baby, asking her mother if he is not cute in his little bear costume. The older woman's expression remains cold and unimpressed, her eyes narrowing behind her glasses, and she coldly orders her daughter to take the child away, threatening to throw him out herself if she does not comply. The baby, not one to be defeated so easily, decides to try a different tactic to win her over. He strikes a cute pose and makes a funny face, hoping to charm the stern matriarch with his adorable antics. He is surprised when his cute act does not seem to work, but then a notification appears on his screen. He has earned 200 love and peace coins, as the grandmother was secretly pleased by his animal impression. The older woman tries to maintain her composure, but her shaking hand betrays her amusement. The actress seizes the opportunity, pointing out that since the baby has brown hair, he is not a black-haired beast. Later, the baby is bombarded with notifications as the internal promo photo is shared among the staff. He is amazed at how easily he has collected over 1,000 coins just from the household staff seeing his photo. He realizes that the key to earning coins quickly is to get his face seen by as many people as possible. He decides to use his coins to post the promo photo on a popular website to maximize his exposure. The system informs him that uploading the photo to a large online community will only cost 2 coins. He eagerly agrees, striking a pose as he confirms his decision to proceed with the wish. The side effect is that for 1 month, his mother's personality will become more bold and brazen. The news of the adoption has spread, and rumors are flying about the actress and her new son. A maid tries to comfort the actress, telling her not to worry about the malicious gossip. Another maid reminds her that she is used to being criticized, but the actress is more concerned about her son, and she declares that she will not let her son be dragged down by her reputation and insulted because of her. The maid nervously asks the ass what she plans to do about the rumors, but the actress is unfazed. With a confident smirk, she declares that she will fight back against the malicious gossip. The baby is inspired by her fighting spirit and decides to help her by using his special ability. He wishes for paparazzi photo of his mother, and the system confirms it will cost 200 coins, and the side effect is that for the next 3 minutes, he will throw anything he touches, which he thinks is an easy price to pay. And so his mother then hands him a small toy, unaware of the side effect that is about to take place. He immediately throws the toy across the room, much to his mother's and the maid's surprise. The actress looks at him with a confused expression, wondering why he would suddenly throw his toy. The baby is flustered, realizing his plan to simply not hold anything has failed spectacularly. His mother misinterprets his action, thinking he just does not like the toy she gave him. Later, the actress takes him to a large department store, ready to put their plan into action, and she tells him to pick out anything he wants, ready to spoil him in front of the public eye. The baby is impressed by her commitment, realizing she is serious about fighting back against the rumors. A photographer hiding in a car nearby gets ready to capture the moment, confirming that everything is set. The baby knows this is the perfect moment to execute the final part of his plan to help his mother. He calls out "Mama," a word he has been practicing for this very moment, hoping to create a heartwarming scene. The actress is stunned, taking off her sunglasses to look at him in disbelief. She asks if he really just said "Mama," her voice filled with a mix of shock and hope, and he calls out to her again, proud of his efforts to perfect the word, and she is overjoyed. As she gives him a loving kiss, a notification confirms he has earned 30 coins, hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. A man looks at a photo of the actress and the baby, wondering if he is her adopted son. The actress confirms that he is, deciding it is better to make the news official rather than letting tabloids spread rumors. And so her agent worries that she will be seen as exploiting her son for money, but she has a plan to counter that, and she tells him that they will donate all the proceeds from the photo shoot. Much to his surprise, the donation will be made in the baby's name to the convent where he was found, a move sure to win public favor. The agent is shocked, now understanding why she has been cramming her schedule with so many photo shoots, and she explains that these are shoots she can do with her son at their home, keeping him comfortable. The concept for the main photoshoot is the daily life of an actress mom, a wholesome and relatable theme. A nanny plays with the baby on set as the photographer complains that they were forced to go along with the actress's idea. He admits that she is overwhelmingly beautiful in person, but her perfection feels almost unnatural. He worries that shooting with a baby will be difficult, fearing he might cry and ruin the photos, and so he knows that even the actress's patience will be tested, and he sees the shoot as a celebrity selling out her adopted kid. His assistant agrees, and the photographer complains about his job, feeling uninspired by the setup. Just as he is complaining, the baby calls out "Mama," and the actress's expression immediately softens. She greets him with a bright, loving smile, her entire demeanor changing as she interacts with her son. The photographer and his crew are completely stunned by her genuine and heartwarming expression, and they are amazed at how natural and loving she is with the baby, looking like a real mother and son. The photographer is instantly inspired, realizing this is a shot he absolutely has to take. He yells for the shooting to start immediately, ready to capture the beautiful, authentic moment. And so the actress shields the baby's eyes from the bright lights, but he knows the intense lighting could be harmful to a child. The baby, remembering his past life as a luxury supporting actor, is determined not to be intimidated by the photoshoot. He closes his eyes for a moment, gathering his composure before facing the camera with confidence. With a professional attitude, he sits among the toys, ready to give the performance of a lifetime. He strikes a charming pose, winking at the camera with a playful and confident expression. The photographer is completely captivated, snapping photos from every angle, unable to resist his charm. He finally lowers his camera, overwhelmed by the baby's incredible performance, and calls for a short break. The actress asks him how the photos are, and the photographer admits he could keep shooting forever. He then confesses that he has no idea what he just shot, his mind a blur from the whirlwind of perfect moments. The actress is confused, but he assures her she will understand once she sees the photos for herself. She is stunned by the results, unable to believe the beautiful and expressive photos on the screen. The baby knows that a perfect face is not enough, it is the range of expressions that truly brings a photo to life. The photographer is amazed, admitting he never imagined they would get such incredible shots with a baby. He explains that the baby's flawless features and incredible liveliness create perfect proportions in every photo. He notes that most child models can only manage 2 or 3 expressions, even with their mother's guidance. But this baby, he says, has dozens of expressions, a rare and impressive talent for someone so young. And the photographer declares he would bet his career on the baby's talent, calling him a genius. And the actress knows the photographer rarely gives compliments, so his high praise carries a lot of weight. He confidently states that once the magazine is released, the whole world will agree that the baby is a face genius. The magazine sells out completely, requiring an emergency reprint to meet the overwhelming demand. News of the photoshoot and the actress's generous donation spreads like wildfire, leading to a revaluation of her public image. The actress's manager, Lee Mi-jin, bursts in, reminding her that they have to seize the opportunity while the tide is high, and she pulls the exhausted actress along, telling her they have to move quickly as their schedule is piling up. The actress complains that she is dying from exhaustion, but her manager reminds her that this is a golden opportunity. She cries that she is too busy and does not even have time to see her son, showing her manager a video of him. In the video, the baby is asked if he has anything to say to his mommy, and he sweetly calls out for her. The actress is heartbroken, pleading with her manager to let her see her son, who is growing up so fast. She shows the manager another video of the baby, asking how anyone could resist such a cute child. This finally breaks the manager's resolve, and the actress runs off to see her son, leaving her manager behind. She explains that her son has called for her 4 times, and she cannot ignore his pleas any longer. And she runs into a man on the street and begs him to let her go home, but he tells her it is not possible. He explains that they are having some trouble with the shoot, and he needs her to stay on set. So, he tells her the child actor for the shoot is causing problems, and he knows she is worried about the same thing, and so the actress understands immediately, knowing that the child actor keeps crying whenever he sees her. The director explains that her character is a zombie, slaying warrior who also has to deliver a baby in a crucial scene, and he knows it will be a tough ask, but he has a special request for her that might solve their problem, and he suggests that for the movie's promotion, her adopted son could play the role of the baby. The actress is stunned by his proposal, unable to believe he is asking her to let her own son act in the movie. Back at home, the baby is enjoying his bottle as the maid asks the actress what is going on. The actress is still processing the director's offer, and the maid waits patiently for an answer. As the baby drinks his milk, he overhears the actress say that the director wants him for the movie, and he is shocked. The baby is shocked, realizing that director Hyo is the famous Hyo Bong-pal from his past life. He remembers the director as a major figure in the film industry, known for his blockbuster hits. This means his mother is filming the mega hit zombie movie that he was a huge fan of in his past life. And the actress explains that there is a scene with a baby, but the child actor keeps crying, and they cannot edit it out. And she says the director saw the magazine shoot and thinks her son might be able to do the scene without crying. The baby is ecstatic, ecstatic, waving his arms and silently begging to be chosen for the role in his favorite movie. His mother and the maid are surprised by his sudden excitement, as he is usually a very calm baby. The actress is still hesitant, worried that a film set is too chaotic and dangerous for a small child, and she also fears he might get sick, but the baby silently shakes his head, determined to get the part. She considers quitting the movie to stay with him, but he knows he has to use his coins to convince her, and the system confirms it will cost 200 coins to get him the role, and the side effect will be itchy eyes for 5 minutes. He accepts the deal, and his eyes immediately turn red and start to itch, but he tries his best to hide it. The maid asks the actress what the baby wants, noticing his strange behavior since they started talking about the movie. The actress remembers the photographer calling him a genius and wonders if he has a natural talent for acting, and so the maid agrees, pointing out how happy he gets whenever she takes his picture with her phone. The actress realizes the maid is right, and that he always looks directly into the camera lens, and so she interprets his itchy eyes as a sign that he wants to be in the movie, a way of telling her not to worry, and she is now convinced that he is trying to communicate with her, even though the maid is skeptical, and so she is now certain that he wants to be in the movie, her excitement growing with each passing moment. He knows his mother is still healthy, and he sees this as a chance to collect more coins and become a top star. On the film set, the actress is dressed in full military gear, looking ready for action, and so she worries that her son will cry when he sees her in the rugged costume, but he has a very different reaction. The baby's eyes light up with excitement and admiration as he sees his mother in her warrior outfit. He is in awe of her, thinking she looks like a real warrior, strong and cool in her uniform. The maid is relieved that he is not scared, and the actress asks if he can still recognize her. The director arrives on set, excited to see the baby who has been praised so highly. The baby looks up at the director with a bright, charming smile, ready to impress everyone on set. The director and the crew are instantly captivated by his adorable and confident presence. The baby's mother is playing a character who lost her own child and is carrying deep trauma. In the movie, she saves a baby from a horde of zombies, a pivotal moment that helps her overcome her trauma, and the baby now understands that his role is to be the child left behind in the midst of the zombie attack. He is confused, remembering that this tear-jerking scene was cut from the final version of the movie he saw. He realizes that the original scene was likely cut because the previous baby actor kept crying. The director is still worried, questioning if such a small baby can handle the scene on a high platform, and so, the baby now understands that his mother will have to climb up to save him in the scene. He is unsure how to act, as the director cannot give him acting lessons, and he is just a baby. The crew members are busy preparing for the scene, their faces tense with concentration. The actress is fitted with a safety harness, her expression a mix of determination and nervousness. The director calls for action, and the camera begins to roll, all eyes on the baby and the actress, and so the baby looks out at the set, thinking about what he would do if he were in that situation for real. He closes his eyes, focusing his energy and preparing to deliver a powerful and emotional performance. He opens his eyes, his gaze filled with a bright and innocent light that contrasts with the dark world around him. The scene is set in a post-apocalyptic city, where zombies roam the streets and hope is a distant memory. In this bleak world, a lone baby stands on a high platform, a beacon of innocence in a world of despair. He knows that a baby in this situation, knowing nothing of the horrors around him, would simply shine. He lets out a bright, happy smile, his innocence a stark and tragic contrast to the grim reality of the world. This unexpected expression doubles the tragedy of the scene, making the audience feel an overwhelming urge to save him. The director is so moved by the performance that he forgets to call cut, completely captivated by the moment. The crew members are equally impressed, praising the baby's powerful and impactful performance. The director decides to go with this new, unexpected take. Seeing the genius in the baby's performance, he calls for Stanby, and the actress, now fully immersed in her role, prepares for the next scene. She takes a running start, her movements fluid and powerful as she prepares to leap across a gap. She soars through the air, her body a graceful arc as she reaches for the platform where the baby is. Her eyes are filled with a fierce determination, her focus entirely on saving the child from the dangers below. She lands on the platform with a thud, her body absorbing the impact as she protects the baby in her arms. The director and the crew are stunned by her incredible stunt, their faces a mix of shock and awe. The actress lands safely on the mat below, the baby still cradled securely in her arms. She lets out a small groan of pain, the impact of the fall taking its toll on her body. The crew rushes to her side, worried that she might be injured, but she is more concerned about the baby. She looks down at him, her eyes filled with a mother's love as she calls out his name, her voice soft and gentle. The baby calls out to his mother, his voice filled with concern as he sees her lying on the mat. He knows she must have taken the brunt of the impact to protect him, and he worries if she is truly okay. He gently touches her face, trying to get a response, but she is still dazed from the fall, and she opens her eyes, her first thought being of the baby's safety, and she is relieved to see he is unharmed. And she tries to get up, but the pain from the fall is too much for her to handle on her own. She asks the maid to take the baby, her voice weak as she struggles to sit up. He feels a pang of guilt, knowing that she was injured because she was protecting him during the stunt. He decides to use his coins to help her, determined to heal her injuries and ease her pain. He wishes for his mother's injuries to be healed, and the system confirms it will cost 5,000 coins. The side effect is that he will cry for 10 minutes, and the system warns him to be cautious of dehydration. The actress suddenly feels a surge of energy, her pain and injuries miraculously disappearing. She is confused by the sudden recovery, unsure of what just happened to her body. She sits up, her body feeling completely fine, as if the fall had never even happened. The baby watches her, relieved that his wish worked and she is no longer in pain. The crew members ask if she can move her arm, and her manager rushes to her side, full of concern. She smiles, assuring everyone that she is fine, but they still urge her not to push herself too hard. Her first thought is of the baby, and she quickly looks around to make sure he is still safe. The crew parts like the Red Sea, revealing the maid holding the baby, who is now crying from the side effect. He is wrapped in a warm blanket, his face streaked with tears as he endures the 10-minute crying spell. His eyes are filled with a mix of sadness and relief, grateful that his mother is safe, even if it cost him a few tears. The actress and the director are surprised by the baby's sudden outburst of tears. He cries loudly, his small body trembling as he endures the side effect of his wish. The maid explains that he is not the type to cry like this, and the actress worries she has scared him, and she apologizes to him, feeling guilty that she might have startled him with her sudden fall. He feels powerless, realizing that if it were not for his coins, his mother would have been badly hurt because of him, and she comforts him, assuring him that she is right there with him, and he cries for 10 minutes straight. Later that night, the actress and the maid talk about the incident, both still shaken by his desperate cries, and so the maid tearfully admits how worried she was when she thought the actress was seriously injured. The actress, looking at her sleeping son, reflects that she has never been afraid of getting hurt before. She acknowledges her fiery personality, but this time, she realizes she needs to be more careful. The thought of getting hurt and making her baby cry is a new and powerful deterrent for her. She knows that her son only has her, and she feels a deep sense of responsibility to protect him, and she watches him sleep, admitting that her back was in a lot of pain after the fall. But she says that when she saw him crying, her own pain seemed to disappear, as if by magic, and she wonders if her maternal instincts are kicking in, a new and unfamiliar feeling for her, and she reflects on her past, regretting that she did not try to understand her own daughter better. The maid asks what she means, and the actress begins to open up about her daughter Mori. She admits it is still a painful memory, but she knows that no matter what, she is still her mother, and she recalls how she was more worried about her daughter getting a fever from crying than her own feelings. The actress tells the maid that a mother's love is unconditional, a lesson she is only now beginning to understand. The maid comments on the daughter's hot temper, and the actress wryly admits she does not know who she takes after, and she then admits to herself that her daughter takes after her, and she resolves to try and contact her again. A memory of her young daughter Mari flashes in her mind, a sad reminder of their strained relationship. The grandmother, meanwhile, tells the maid that the baby is no help to her daughter and that she needs to throw him away. She warns the baby not to think he can stay just because of his cute face, but he is unfazed by her threats. She threatens to kick him out herself when the time comes, her words a stark contrast to her gentle hold, and she says she needs to get rid of him before she gets too attached, but her actions betray her words. The baby knows she is full of malice, but he also senses that she likes his face, and he plans to use that to his advantage. He knows that looks can fade, so he needs to find a way to make her want to see him more often. He spots a cane in a playhouse and gets an idea, a new plan forming in his clever mind. He decides to use his coins to make his body smell like lemongrass every time his grandmother visits. The system confirms the wish will cost 200 coins, and he knows the scent is effective for muscle pain. He accepts the deal, and the side effect is that he will not be able to taste anything for 7 days. The next time his grandmother visits, she is surprised by the pleasant scent in the room. She picks him up, her expression a mix of confusion and curiosity as she tries to place the familiar smell, and she holds him close, trying to figure out where the soothing scent is coming from. She realizes the scent is coming from the baby, and he silently confirms her suspicions. He then gives her a small, affectionate kiss on the cheek, a calculated move to win her over. She is completely taken aback by the unexpected display of affection, her eyes wide with surprise. A jolt of something akin to lightning seems to pass through her as she processes the strange and heartwarming moment. The baby worries that he has made the wrong move, fearing he has angered the stern matriarch. The old woman stammers, her hand on her cheek as if she has just been slapped, much to the baby's confusion. A notification confirms that the grandmother was delighted by the kiss, and he earns a massive 800 coins. He realizes that the combination of aromatherapy and his cute baby charm is a killer combination. The grandmother, however, quickly regains her composure and tells him to get away from her, and so she calls him a hindrance to her daughter's life, saying it is a good thing she is taking care of her own daughter now. She mentions the movie premiere, but she is still critical of her daughter's choice to star in a grotesque, zombie film. The baby is surprised to hear that the premiere is so soon, a sign that time is moving quickly. Just then, a maid announces that the actress has arrived, and the grandmother's demeanor instantly changes. She gently places the baby on the sofa, a move that he knows is a sign of her trying to hide him, and she orders the maid not to tell her daughter she was there, her voice firm and commanding. That the baby thinks she is being dishonest, wondering why she would not want to see her own daughter. Just as the grandmother leaves, the actress bursts in her face alight with a bright, happy smile. She scoops him up in a big hug, telling him how much she has missed her little angel. She holds him close, her voice soft and loving as she asks if he was a good boy while she was away. The maid reports that the baby is healthy and has been eating and playing well, much to the actress's relief, and she is so happy that he is healthy that she decides to bring him to her movie premiere the next day. 3 hours before the premiere, the baby arrives, dressed in an adorable polar bear hoodie. The director and the actress are both charmed by his cute outfit, calling him a hot celebrity, and the director tells the actress that another director asked him how the baby managed to smile so brightly during the bleak scene. He admits that the baby's performance is a hot topic of conversation, and the actress agrees that his scenes are the funniest. So, the director notes that while the scenes were not originally important, the baby's smiling made them more substantial. He praises the baby's bold and innocent performance, saying it seemed almost like intentional acting. The baby is a bit flustered by the director's sharp observation, realizing he might have been too obvious. The director says that if the baby really was acting, he would be a genius, but he dismisses the thought. He calls the baby a scene stealer and gives him a high five, praising his well-done performance. In the waiting room, the staff goes over the plan for the premiere with the maid and the actress. They are instructed to hand the baby over to the actress when the host presents her with a gift. The baby is given a flower to hold, but he feels it is not enough to make a big impression. He decides to use his coins to get the staff to put him on the stage floor for a more dramatic entrance. The system confirms the wish will cost 300 coins, and the side effect will be falling asleep for 10 hours after 1 hour. And the staff gives him the cue to go on stage, and he knows he only has 1 hour before the side effect kicks in. He feels a surge of excitement, knowing that it is finally his turn to shine on the big stage. As he walks on stage, he is met with a sea of bright lights and the roar of the crowd. A woman in the audience is so moved by his appearance that she bursts into tears, clutching a stuffed animal. The baby is confused by the sudden outburst, wondering if his coin-induced plan is working. He stands on the stage, a single spotlight illuminating him as he holds the flower, a picture of innocence. He looks out at the audience, his expression a mix of confusion and curiosity as he tries to understand the situation. The actress and the director are both surprised to see him on stage, calling out his name in a mix of shock and worry, and so he silently tells his mother to stop, determined to walk to her and create a heartwarming moment. He takes a deep breath, encouraging himself as he prepares to take his first steps in front of the large crowd. He takes one wobbly step, his small body trembling with the effort of balancing on his own 2 feet. He takes another step, his determination pushing him forward as he makes his way across the stage. With extreme baby steps he walks towards his mother, his small face a mask of concentration. The photographers are in a frenzy, snapping pictures of the incredible moment as the audience gasps in amazement, and he has already taken more than 10 steps, but the stage seems to stretch on forever, a daunting challenge for his small legs. He knows this is the first time his mother is seeing him walk, and he hopes she is proud of his efforts. He remembers the side effect of his wish to heal the nun, the curse of falling every 10 steps. He finally reaches his limit and falls to the ground, his small body a heap on the stage floor. The audience gasps, worried that he is about to cry, their faces a mix of concern and anticipation. He pushes himself up, his small legs trembling as he gets back on his feet, determined to continue, and the audience is amazed by his resilience, cheering him on as he stands up and continues his journey. And he smiles, knowing that everything is going according to his plan, and he calls out to his mother. The host announces that her son has brought her flowers, and the actress is overcome with emotion. The baby knows that if she smiles now, their touching reunion will be the talk of the town, a perfect end to his plan. He holds out the flower, confused by his mother's lack of reaction to his grand gesture. He wonders why she is not taking the flower, his carefully orchestrated plan now in jeopardy, and tears begin to stream down the actress's face, her emotions getting the better of her in the public eye. And she is completely overwhelmed by the heartwarming moment, her heart filled with love for her son. The baby is horrified, realizing this is not the reaction he was hoping for, and his plan has gone awry. The audience is moved by the scene, their faces a mix of awe and sympathy for the emotional mother and son. The host tries to salvage a situation, kneeling beside them and trying to understand what is happening. The actress confesses that she did not know her son's birthday, and the baby is equally surprised by this revelation. She explains that she has been too busy to plan a first birthday party for him, her voice filled with regret. The host, ever the professional, smoothly transitions into promoting her new movie and upcoming drama. She explains that her busy schedule has meant she has only been able to see her son while he is sleeping, and so she holds him close, admitting that she did not even know he could walk, her heart aching with guilt. She feels like a terrible mother for missing his first steps, a precious milestone she can never get back. The baby is still unsure of his own feelings, but he is moved by her sadness and regret. He wonders if this is the bond with a mother that he never got to experience in his past life. He raises his small, paw-like hand, a silent promise to his mother that he will always be there for her. He decides to use his coins to make her healthy, a selfless act of love for his new mother. He wishes for her to be healthy, a simple yet powerful desire to protect her from any harm. And the photographers and reporters are in a frenzy, snapping pictures of the emotional and heartwarming scene. The audience is completely captivated, their faces a mix of awe and admiration for the loving mother and son. A montage of news articles flashes across the screen, detailing the tragic death of the late actress. Mourners gather at her funeral, their faces etched with grief as they say their final goodbyes. The headlines describe her as a top star who was tormented even in death, a truly painful end to a bright career. The baby knows he has to protect his mother from this tragic fate, and he is willing to pay any price. He confirms his wish, vowing to protect his mother for the rest of his life, no matter what it takes. The side effect is that he will be tone deaf for 6 years, a small price to pay for his mother's health. He knows that his dream is to be an actor, not a singer, so the side effect is a worthy sacrifice. The host praises the baby's calm demeanor, and the actress proudly says that he takes after her. The director is also impressed, his eyes burning with a newfound passion for the young actor. He admits that he has been wanting to work with the baby since the last shoot, seeing his immense potential, and he tells the actress that they might meet again in the next project, a clear sign of his interest. The actress, however, gives a noncommittal response, her expression making it clear she is not interested. She knows the director will continue to produce hit after hit, and she is not about to let her son be overworked. The baby, however, would be grateful for the opportunity to work with such a renowned director. The actress notices her son looks sleepy, and he knows it is the side effect of his wish finally kicking in. The world goes black as he falls into a deep sleep, the price for his grand plan finally paid. A reporter announces the sensational preview screening of the new zombie movie, a huge success. Back at home, the baby is watching the news, monitoring the public's reaction to the movie. The movie is a spectacular hit, with positive reviews pouring in even before its official release. The baby points at the screen, excited to see the results of his hard work and clever planning. An interviewer explains that the movie is about ordinary people trying to maintain their humanity in a zombie-infested world. He then asks the cast if there were any unforgettable episodes during the shoot, looking for a good story. An actor reveals that the actress almost got hurt during a wire action scene, a moment that had everyone on edge. News headlines flash across the screen, detailing the near accident and the actress's bravery. She smiles, assuring the interviewer that she is fine now and that she was more worried about her son. She explains that she instinctively protected the baby, and though it hurt at first, she is now fully recovered. The actor admits that he was worried about both the baby and the actress, his face a mix of relief and concern. He says he was relieved to see the baby was unharmed at the preview, and the baby silently agrees. The baby is proud of his on-screen performance, thinking he is unbearably cute as he watches himself on the screen. He laughs at his own adorable antics, his small body wiggling with delight as he watches the scene. He finds himself so cute that he can't help but admire his own on-screen presence. He knows this is the highlight of his performance, a moment that is sure to win him a lot of coins. The cast and crew end the interview with a cheerful message, asking the audience to look forward to the movie. The baby watches the end of the interview, a sense of confusion and disappointment washing over him. He is shocked that the interview is over, feeling like his screen time was far too short. He realizes that as a nameless actor, screen time is a luxury he cannot afford to waste. And he knows that if he were more famous, even the scene of his mother crying would have been shown. He shakes off his disappointment, knowing that another chance will come, and he must seize it. He knows that to be a successful actor, he needs to attend a lot of shoots and build his reputation. He then has a sudden realization, a new idea forming in his mind as he prepares for his next move. He knows that falling asleep is an unavoidable side effect, but he needs to prepare for his future as an actor. The system confirms that it will cost 5,000 coins to raise his stamina, a price he is willing to pay. He realizes there is a correlation between his base stats and the cost of upgrades, a new and interesting discovery. He eagerly executes the wish, ready to boost his stamina and take his acting career to the next level. And so a side effect is that for 1 year, he will dance whenever he hears music, a rather embarrassing consequence. A children's song starts playing, and his body immediately begins to move to the rhythm against his will. He is mortified by the involuntary dancing, his face flushing with a deep, embarrassed blush. His arms and legs move with a life of their own, a comical and humiliating display of his new side effect. He loses his balance and falls to the ground, a clumsy end to his impromptu dance performance. The song ends, and he is relieved that it was just a short commercial, but his ordeal is not over yet. He quickly changes the channel, hoping to find something without music, but his luck runs out. A music show appears on the screen, and his body once again begins to dance to the beat of a pop song. He struggles to keep his balance, his small body a whirlwind of awkward and involuntary movements, and so his mother and the maid are amused by his strange bouncing, completely unaware of his inner turmoil. He silently pleads for a savior to break the spell, and the maid comes to his rescue, turning off the TV. She is confused about how the TV even got turned on, but she is more concerned about the baby. She notices he is sweating and decides to change his clothes, or maybe even give him a bath, and he is exhausted from the dancing, his small body shaking with the effort of fighting his own movements. He calls out for water, his throat dry and his body dehydrated from the unexpected workout. The maid is surprised by his sudden request, but she quickly gets him a drink, a look of concern on her face. He tries to speak but only desperate gasps come out, his throat too dry to form words. He cries out, his small hands reaching for a drink, his body screaming for hydration. He is shocked that he has spoken out loud, a feat he did not think was possible for a baby. The maid is equally stunned, her eyes wide with disbelief as she hears him speak for the first time, and so she rushes to his side, asking him what he said, her voice a mix of shock and excitement. He raises his small hands, his baby instincts taking over as he reaches for what he wants. He speaks again, his voice clear and articulate as he asks for water, a simple yet powerful request. The maid is overjoyed, scooping him up in a big hug, her heart filled with a mix of shock and delight. She cannot believe he can already speak so well, her mind reeling from the impossible feat, and she wonders if he is a genius, but she reminds herself that he is still just a baby, and this is a huge leap. She quickly pulls out her phone, determined to capture this incredible moment and share it with the actress. She tells him to look at the camera and ask his mom to hurry home, a proud smile on her face. And so he knows she is asking a lot from a baby who just spoke his first words, but he is up for the challenge. He looks into the camera and calls out "Mama," his voice sweet and clear, a perfect message for his mother. He then adds a cute squeak, a touch of his own personality that is sure to melt his mother's heart. The maid sends the video to the actress, a small act that will have a big impact on her day. The actress is on set, her mind focused on her work when she receives the notification on her phone, and she opens the video, her heart skipping a beat as she sees her son's adorable face on the screen. She is so overwhelmed with emotion that she collapses to the ground, her body weak with a mix of shock and joy. A man on set rushes to her side, worried that something is wrong, but she is just lost in the moment. The man on set is moved by the video, his heart touched by the baby's adorable words and squeak. He clutches his heart, completely overwhelmed by the cuteness of the video, and collapses to the ground. The actress gently lays him down, a sweet smile on her face as she watches over him like a guardian angel. She knows that her recent success is all thanks to her son, but she still feels unworthy of being his mother. The man sits up, telling her not to question herself and asking about the baby's first birthday party. She says they will keep it small, but he insists on a grand celebration, offering to handle all the preparations. He tells her the baby is a benefactor to him, having helped rehabilitate one of the greatest actors of all time, and the actress is surprised by his words, but he assures her that he will take care of everything, and he winks, telling her to leave it to him, a mischievous glint in his eye as he hatches a plan. She is suspicious, wondering if he is planning to use her son's birthday to promote his business. He denies it, but he says it is important to build networks from a young age, promising to make the party a huge success. The actress is still worried about the public's reaction to her adopted son, but she is slowly coming around. The agent sees her hesitation and encourages her to embrace her new role as a mother, and she finally agrees. The grandmother, meanwhile, is at home, still struggling to accept the new addition to her family. She takes a deep breath, the scent of lemongrass filling her senses and calming her nerves. She tells the baby not to be delusional, but her words are a stark contrast to her gentle hold, and so she wonders what her daughter is thinking. And she is still critical of the grand birthday party plans, and she knows her daughter has invited everyone from the entertainment industry, but she has not said a word to her own family. She looks down at the baby, a small smile playing on her lips as she senses his desire to be at the party. The baby knows that she secretly wants to come, and he is determined to make it happen, no matter what. He knows that his first birthday party is a huge opportunity to make connections and become more famous. The baby is excited, knowing he has been building up his stamina for this very day, and he is ready to shine. He calls out to his grandmother, his voice filled with a mix of excitement and affection as he wraps her in a hug. The old woman is completely stunned by his words, her mind struggling to process what she has just heard. He repeats himself, his voice sweet and clear, a calculated move to win her over and cheer her up. He is lifted into the air, his small body a bundle of excitement as he is held by his surprised grandmother. She looks down at him, a mix of shock and confusion on her face as she asks if he is calling her grandmother. She then asks the logical follow-up question, wondering who his grandfather is if she is his grandmother. But the baby is not deterred by her tough questions, and he continues to shower her with affection. The grandmother is overwhelmed by his cuteness, her stern exterior melting away in the face of his charm. A man's hand gently pats the baby's head, a sign of affection that brings a smile to his face. The baby is overjoyed by the positive reaction, his small face beaming with a mix of pride and happiness. A week later, the grand birthday party is held at a luxurious hotel, a testament to the agent's hard work. The baby looks at his reflection, a bit unsure of the traditional outfit he is wearing for the occasion. He knows his beauty is enough to make the nation proud, but he still feels a bit self-conscious in the unfamiliar clothes. His manager is so moved by his adorable appearance that he earns 20 coins, a good start to the day, and the stylist fusses over him, calling him a prince and making sure he looks perfect for his big day. He knows that today is the day he will surrender to the pouring coins, ready to charm everyone in attendance. His mother arrives, her face alight with a bright, happy smile as she sees her handsome son. She declares that today, he is the main character, and he is ready to take center stage and steal the show. He notices that his mother is not wearing a traditional hanbok, a deliberate choice to make him stand out even more. The maid rushes in, a look of urgency on her face as she calls out to the actress. The baby is confused by her sudden entrance, wondering why she is in such a hurry on his special day. She shows them a small, expensive-looking ring that she found in the baby's cradle, and the actress is surprised, wondering if someone from her mother's side of the family could have sent it. The maid reminds her that she cannot afford such a luxurious gift, and the actress agrees. The actress knows there is only one person who would do something so extravagant and secretive, and she is still hesitant to believe it, but she knows the gift was not meant for her, but for her son. She smiles, realizing that her mother's cold exterior is just a facade, and she truly cares for her grandson. She is a bit disappointed that her mother stole the thunder of being the first to congratulate him, but she is still happy, and she looks at the photos of her and her son, her heart filled with a deep and profound sense of gratitude. A man and a woman arrive at the party, their faces alight with excitement as they call out to the actress. She greets them, and the baby recognizes the man as the president of his mother's agency. The baby is surprised to see the famous President CEO in person, a man he has only heard stories about. The president is charmed by the famous baby, his eyes filled with a mix of awe and admiration. The baby, however, is not impressed by the man's overly friendly demeanor and hides his face. The president's wife is also there, her expression a mix of amusement and exasperation at her husband's antics. The actress greets a few more guests, her smile warm and welcoming as she enjoys her son's special day. Two young girls in matching yellow dresses stare at her, their eyes wide with a mix of awe and curiosity. The girls are captivated by the famous actress, their small faces a mask of wonder as they see her up close. The actress greets the twin girls, her voice soft and friendly as she tries to make them feel comfortable. The girls are amazed that he can talk, and they are charmed by his tiny size, calling him a doll, and so, they beg their mother to let them take him home. Their faces a mix of excitement and adoration. Their father is embarrassed by their outburst, but the actress finds their enthusiasm amusing, so the president jokes that his daughters should have taken after their father, a playful jab at his wife. The actress thanks him for preparing the party, and he tells her it is the least he could do for her. She then notices the seating arrangement, seeing a table reserved for the immediate family. She asks the president and his wife to be her relatives for the day, a sweet and impromptu request. The president is overjoyed, declaring himself the baby's uncle and showering him with affection. He is charmed by the baby's cute voice and says that photos do not do him justice, as he is much cuter in person. And the baby is impressed by the president's ability to judge a person, a skill that has served him well in his career. The president is not shy at all, and the baby's friendly demeanor makes him even more endearing. The president is delighted by his cuteness, and the baby earns a massive 100 coins for his efforts. A glamorous woman arrives at the party, a famous fashion designer who will later become a master in her field. The actress waves to her, and the designer's eyes are immediately drawn to the adorable baby in her arms. She is a bit taken aback by his traditional outfit, but she is more impressed by his sparkling sunglasses. So the actress proudly introduces her son, and the designer is amazed that he is not crying in the crowded room. The baby knows he is not a normal baby, and he strikes a pose, ready to charm the famous designer. He points at her, a silent challenge in his eyes as he prepares to win her over with his cuteness. The designer is intrigued, her expression a mix of amusement and curiosity as she studies the confident baby. And the designer admits she never had an interest in children's clothing, but seeing the baby has changed her mind. She is inspired by his cuteness, a newfound passion for children's fashion sparking in her creative mind, and she tells the actress she is going to get some work done before the party starts, her mind already buzzing with ideas. The baby is ecstatic, knowing he has successfully charmed another influential person in the industry. A man approaches and the baby recognizes him as a famous director from his past life, a man he greatly admires. He introduces a young man named Lee Jinwon, a promising new director who has just won an award. The young director is humble and polite, explaining that he is preparing for his first feature film. The actress recognizes him from a short film festival where he won the Best Director award, a huge honor. The baby is shocked, realizing this is the same Lee Jinwon who will become a legendary director in the future. The young director explains that his new film is about a child, and he came to see the baby in person. The baby's eyes light up with excitement, realizing that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And so he knows that if this is Lee Jinwon's first feature, it must be the critically acclaimed movie, Boyhood. He greets the director with a cheerful "Hiwo," his baby talk, a mix of excitement and his natural instincts, and so he is a bit embarrassed by his own baby talk, but he continues to charm the young director with his cuteness. The director is surprised that the baby can already talk, and the actress proudly says he is an early talker, and so he mentions that he has heard about the baby, and he is impressed by his advanced development. The baby looks up at the director, his heart filled with a mix of awe and admiration for the future legend. The director's gaze is intense, his eyes filled with a mix of curiosity and a deep, creative passion. The baby can feel the director's artistic energy, a powerful and inspiring force that fills the room. The two of them lock eyes, a silent understanding passing between them as they recognize a conjured spirit. The young director is a bit flustered, his shyness a stark contrast to his confident creative vision, and he is surprised by the actress's request, but he quickly regains his composure and agrees to give her his card. He quickly jots down his number on a piece of paper, his hand a blur of motion as he writes, and so he hands her the paper, telling her that he would like her son to be the star of his first film. The actress and the baby are both stunned by his offer, their minds reeling from the unexpected proposal. She is hesitant, knowing that her son is still so young, but the director is persistent. He tells her that he feels it has to be this child, and he is even willing to change the script to make it work. The baby is overjoyed, realizing that he has just been offered the lead role in a future masterpiece. He declares that his old birthday is meaningless, and from now on, this day will be his new birthday. The host announces that it is time for the main event, the baby's first birthday celebration. The baby claps his hands with excitement, his face alight with a bright, happy smile. A woman in a cute bear mask watches him, her heart filled with a mix of awe and adoration. The audience cheers, their faces a mix of excitement and anticipation for the main event. The host announces that it is time for the jabi, a traditional first birthday fortune-telling ritual. The baby looks at the selection of objects, a mix of confusion and disappointment on his face. He knows he is an actor, and he is unsure of what he is supposed to grab from the random assortment of items, and his mother asks what he will choose, but he is at a loss, his mind a blank as he stares at the objects. He silently tells his mother that there is nothing for him to grab, a sense of panic rising in his chest. He knows he has to grab something, but he is unsure of what to choose, his mind racing with possibilities. He scans the table, his eyes darting from object to object as he tries to make a decision. He has a sudden realization, a brilliant idea forming in his mind as he looks at the table of objects. He knows that in times like these, there is always a way out, a clever solution to any problem. He points his finger, his eyes fixed on a target that is not on the table, but in the audience. He points to the woman in the bear mask, his voice clear and determined as he makes his choice. The woman is surprised, pointing to herself as she asks if he is really choosing her. The actress gently tells him that he cannot pick a person, but he is not to be deterred. He insists that he is not picking a person, his eyes still fixed on the woman in the mask. She takes off her mask a bit confused, and asks if he is talking about the mask she is wearing. She places the mask on the table, and he immediately reaches for it, his small hands grabbing it with a sense of purpose. He hugs the mask tightly, his small face a mask of determination as he makes his choice clear to everyone. The actress is stunned, her mind reeling as she tries to understand the meaning behind his choice. The president and his family are equally surprised, their faces a mix of confusion and awe at the baby's cleverness. The crowd is abuzz with excitement, a mix of shock and admiration for the baby's unconventional choice. The actress is still trying to process what just happened, her mind a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. The baby knows that this is his path, the path of an actor, and he is ready to embrace it with all his heart. He smiles, a look of pure joy on his face as he declares that he is an actor, and this is his destiny. Later that night, the moon hangs high in the sky, a silent witness to the baby's new beginning. The actress tucks him into bed, her heart filled with a mix of pride and a deep, unconditional love, and she watches him sleep, her eyes filled with a mother's love, a silent promise to always protect him. And she tells the maid that she was worried about something, a new concern now on her mind. She is unsure if constant exposure to the public is a good thing for a child, especially one so young. She knows that if he were to live a normal life, this would not be the right path for him. The maid reminds her that he has already been exposed to the public, and he seems to love the camera. So, the actress says that his first birthday party made her certain of his passion, and she will support his dream. She knows she cannot ignore the clear sign he gave when he grabbed the mask, a symbol of his desire to be an actor. The maid is excited, telling her that he has already received so many business cards and requests for the party DVD. The actress is amazed by his popularity, joking that he is already better at networking than the CEO of her agency, and so, she is still little worried about him getting hurt, but she knows she will be there to protect him. She has spent her whole life in the brutal world of showbiz, and she knows the challenges that lie ahead. 1 month later, 2 men are in her living room, a new opportunity already on the horizon. One of the men introduces himself as the main writer of a popular weekend variety show, Bybee and Me. He explains that they are planning a one-off special and are aiming for a calm, healing atmosphere. The baby is excited, knowing that a variety show is a great way to boost his name recognition. The writer explains that they focus on casting, as it is not feasible to give a baby a script to follow, and he says that he strongly recommended the actress's son for the show, knowing he will generate a lot of buzz. The actress agrees, but she asks that they state his appearance fee will be donated to the nunnery. The baby is overjoyed, knowing this is a great chance to collect coins and get famous at the same time, and he is a bit confused about why they are starting with a variety show instead of an acting role. The writer explains that he thought she would refuse an acting role, as her son is so young, and so he asks her what made her decide to appear on the show, and she explains that she wants to change her public image. The baby looks up at his mother, his heart filled with a deep and profound love for the woman who saved him. She explains that she does not want her own weakness to be passed down to her son, a fear that haunts her, and he remembers his past life, a time when he had no support and had to fight for every role he got. He recalls the untrustworthy managers who were constantly being replaced, a stark contrast to his new life. He knows that being reborn and meeting his mother, who had died in his past life, is a salvation for them both. He is grateful for this second chance, a chance to have a loving mother and a supportive family. A camera flash goes off, and he is momentarily startled, but he quickly regains his composure. He pretends to be asleep, aware of the camera and ready to give the performance of a lifetime. The crew is amazed by the perfect shot, but he can hear everything, his mind already planning his next move. And his mother tells him that she is busy today, and that some big brothers will be playing with him. And she asks if he wants to greet them at the door, and he eagerly agrees, his face alight with a bright smile. He waves his hand, a mix of excitement and anticipation as he prepares to meet his new playmates, and he gets into a crawling position, ready to race to the door and make a grand entrance. With a determined look, he crawls towards the door, his small body a blur of motion as he races to meet the guests. He peeks around the corner, his eyes wide with a mix of curiosity and a hint of shyness. A group of handsome young men greet him, their voices a cheerful chorus as they introduce themselves as the idol group, Hello. He is stunned by their sudden appearance, his mind reeling as he tries to process what is happening. He recognizes them as the first K-pop idols to ever win at the prestigious awards show, a huge honor. And so his mother introduces him to the group, asking them to take good care of her son for the day. The members of Yahello are completely charmed by him, their faces a mix of awe and adoration as they see him up close. He is in awe of the famous idols, a group he has only ever seen from afar at awards ceremonies. Seeing them up close, he notices a distinct difference in their aura compared to actors, a unique and captivating energy. The leader of the group, Hanjin, introduces himself with a warm and friendly smile, his hand outstretched in greeting. The baby waves back a cheerful hello, escaping his lips as he is charmed by the tall and handsome idol. The members of Yahello are stunned, their faces a mix of shock and disbelief as they hear him speak so clearly. They are amazed that someone so young can speak so well, and they praise him as a clever and talented genius. And so Hanjin then asks if he can hold the baby, his eyes filled with a gentle and affectionate light. The actress agrees, and Hanjin carefully takes the baby in his arms, his movements slow and gentle. He holds him a bit awkwardly, his face a mix of nervousness and delight as he cradles the small child. The other members of the group gather around, their faces a mix of awe and adoration as they see him up close. The baby is a bit shy, but he is also secretly pleased by all the attention, his small heart fluttering with excitement. He knows that these admirable young men will one day become a K-pop group that feeds the entire nation. The members of Yahello are all charmed by him, their faces a mix of awe and adoration as they see him up close, and so the actress tells him to have fun with his new friends, promising that she will be right back. He clings to her, his small hands grabbing her shirt as he looks up at her with big, pleading eyes. He is on the verge of tears, his small face a mask of sadness as he realizes she is about to leave. The members of Yahello are worried, their faces a mix of concern and confusion as they see him about to cry. He clutches her shirt, his small hands a silent plea for her to stay, his heart aching with a sense of abandonment. He waves a small goodbye, his voice a soft and sad whisper as he watches his mother leave. The actress is heartbroken, her eyes filled with tears as she says her goodbyes, promising to see him soon. And the members of Yahello are a bit flustered, unsure of what to do now that they are alone with the baby. They start to play with him, giving him a piggyback ride that he seems to enjoy immensely, and so he laughs and pulls at the idol's hair, a mischievous glint in his eye as he has the time of his life. They then play the airplane game, lifting him high into the air as he squeals with delight. He soars through the air, his arms outstretched like wings as the members of Yahello catch him safely. They then play a game of tag, and he runs around the room, his small legs a blur of motion. The idols are having a great time, their faces faces a mix of laughter and a hint of exhaustion from chasing him. He eventually tires them out, and they all collapse on the floor, their bodies a heap of playful exhaustion. They are all a bit overwhelmed, but they are also charmed by his energy and playful spirit. The baby, however, is feeling a bit anxious, the constant attention a bit much for his small heart. One of the members suggests they play ball, a new idea to keep the baby entertained and happy. He places a small red ball on the floor, telling the baby to kick it as hard as he can. And so, the baby is impressed by their endless ideas, a sign that they have done their research on how to play with a child. He knows it is his first time playing ball, and he is a bit nervous, but he is determined to give it a try. He takes a deep breath, his small body tensing as he prepares to kick the ball with all his might. He swings his leg, but his aim is a bit off, and he ends up kicking himself in the face. He falls to the ground a bit dazed and confused by his own clumsy attempt at playing ball, and so he wonders if he was at least a little bit cute, a small glimmer of hope in his embarrassed heart. One of the members tries to stifle a laugh, his hand covering his mouth as he tries to maintain his composure, but he cannot hold it in, and he bursts out laughing, his voice a mix of amusement and a hint of pity. One of the members scolds the other for laughing, worried that the baby's feelings might be hurt. The idol apologizes, explaining that he could not help it because the baby was just too cute. He continues to apologize, his voice soft and gentle as he tries to soothe the baby's hurt feelings. And so, the baby knows that the idols are still new to the industry and do not know how to mind the cameras yet. He gently touches the idol's face, a silent gesture of forgiveness that melts the young man's heart. He then flashes a bright winning smile, his eyes sparkling with a mix of mischief and charm. A notification appears confirming that his smile has earned him a massive 1,000 coins. He is surprised by the huge amount, but he is also pleased that his charm is working so well. The idol is so moved by his gesture that he starts to cry, and the other members tease him for being so emotional. He tells the baby that they should try kicking the ball again, his voice filled with a newfound determination. He helps the baby balance, his hands gentle and supportive as he guides him through the motions. The baby takes a deep breath, his small body tensing as he prepares to kick the ball with all his might. He kicks the ball with surprising force, sending it flying across the room with a powerful whoosh. The idols are amazed by his strength, calling him a little striker as they cheer him on. He is a bit overwhelmed by all the praise, his small body a bit too short for all the excitement. He falls to the ground a bit clumsy but still full of a playful and energetic spirit. One of the idols catches the ball, his face alight with a bright, happy smile as he prepares to pass it back. He kicks the ball with a powerful and precise motion, sending it soaring through the air. The baby watches the ball fly towards him, his eyes wide with a mix of excitement and a hint of fear. He knows that for an idol, their face is their fortune, and he is determined to protect his own at all costs. The idol sees the ball flying towards the baby, his eyes wide with a mix of shock and concern. He dives in front of the baby, shielding him from the impact with his own body. The baby reaches out his hand, a silent thank you to the idol who has just saved him from a potential injury. The ball hits the idol squarely in the face, and he falls to the ground with a loud thud. The baby is a bit shaken, but he is unharmed, thanks to the idol's quick thinking and selfless act. The other members of the group rush to their side, scolding the one who kicked the ball so high. They ask if the baby is hurt, their faces a mix of concern and relief as they see he is safe. The baby is relieved, his small hand covering his face as he lets out a sigh of relief. The other members are confused by the idol's dramatic fall, and they ask him why he fainted. The idol is overjoyed, his face a mix of pride and adoration as he tells everyone that the baby protected him, and so the leader is not impressed, telling him that it was a dangerous situation and he should have been more careful. He then teases him for being protected by a 1-year-old, asking if he is a princess in disguise. The idol is determined to get his revenge, his eyes filled with a playful and mischievous glint. The baby is intrigued by his words, a small whoo, escaping his lips as he wonders what will happen next. The other members join in on the fun, playfully punishing the idol for his careless mistake. They tie him up with a jump rope, his hands bound behind his back as he awaits his fate, and his feet are also tied, a comical and humiliating punishment for his reckless behavior. And he is now completely at their mercy, his body a prisoner of their playful revenge. The other members stand over him, their faces a mix of amusement and a hint of pity. He knows he deserves the punishment, but he cannot help but feel a bit embarrassed by the situation. One of the members tries to pull the other off, but he is determined to continue the playful pile-on. The leader then lifts the baby into the air, a mischievous glint in his eye as he prepares to pounce. The baby is a bit overwhelmed by the chaotic energy, his small face a mask of confusion and a hint of fear. He wonders if this is how kids play these days, a bit taken aback by their rough and tumble style of fun. The idol at the bottom of the pile complains that they are too heavy, his voice a mix of amusement and a hint of pain. He wishes he had a cute little brother like this, and another member reminds him that he already has one. He dismisses his own brother as not that cute, a playful jab that has the others laughing. The baby looks up at him, a small smile on his face as he finds the idol's antics amusing, and he tells the idol that he is cute, a simple yet powerful compliment that melts the young man's heart. So the other members are a bit jealous, their faces a mix of awe and a hint of envy at the baby's charm. They all collapse to the ground, their bodies a heap of playful exhaustion, but their hearts are full of joy. The leader asks the baby to tell him he is cute too, his voice a mix of hope and a hint of desperation. The baby smiles, telling him that they are all cute, a sweet and diplomatic answer that pleases everyone. One of the members is so moved by his words that he asks the baby to appear in his dreams. The baby is a bit confused by the strange request, but he is also secretly pleased by the attention. The idol asks if he wants to go to sleep, but the baby is not quite ready to end the fun, and so he knows they are busy, but he also knows that he has them wrapped around his little finger. He calls out to them, a silent plea for them to stay and play with him a little longer, and he feels like he is the one putting them to sleep, a strange reversal of roles that he finds amusing. The leader suggests they watch TV, and the baby eagerly agrees, ready for a new adventure. One of the idols asks if he likes watching TV, and he eagerly agrees, though he prefers starring in them. And so another member remembers seeing him pick the mask at his Duljabi and wonders if it is the influence of his actress mother. He calls out to the baby, a knowing smile on his face as he sees the spark of a performer in his eyes, and he tells him that he also has a dream, a secret ambition that he wants to share with his new little friend. The baby is intrigued, his eyes wide with a mix of curiosity and a hint of admiration for the idol. The idol closes his eyes, a look of pure passion on his face as he reveals his deepest desire. His dream is to go on a world tour, a grand ambitious goal that fills him with a sense of purpose. The baby is confident in their abilities, telling them that they will not just do it, but they will become global superstars. One of the members is a bit discouraged, admitting that English is hard and not everyone sees their efforts. He then collapses onto the table, his voice a mix of exhaustion and a hint of self-pity. The baby gently pats his back, a silent gesture of comfort and encouragement for the disheartened idol. The idol is surprised by his touch, his eyes wide with a mix of shock and a hint of gratitude. The baby clenches his small fists, his voice a mix of determination and a hint of a battle cry. And so the idol is confused by his words, but the baby is determined to cheer him up and boost his confidence. He tells the idol that he is fighting, a simple yet powerful message of support that touches the young man's heart. A notification appears confirming that his encouragement has earned him a massive 3,000 coins. He is amazed by the huge amount, realizing that with 5 members, the coins are rolling in. He is so excited that he throws up a rainbow, a comical and unexpected display of his overwhelming joy. A group of young men stands together, one explaining he learned to make baby food so the child would never go hungry. The 2 men smile proudly as the baby Gangja eats well, seemingly spitting out a rainbow in delight. The variety show becomes a hit, with fans sharing clips online of the group playfully piling on top of each other. More comments pop up, with viewers joking about how the baby is being protected by the group's weakest member, and fans praise the combination of a handsome idol and adorable baby, questioning if a child can really be so cute. The baby is shocked, realizing the variety show is airing in just 3 months and is his only scheduled activity. Meanwhile, a maid informs the actress that her phone has been ringing nonstop, but she admits she is ignoring the calls, and she holds her son, explaining that his appearance on the show is the reason she is suddenly getting casting offers. The maid notes that the actress predicted this, while the woman wonders if her contact information was sold somewhere. With a determined look, she resolves to be selective with her projects, glad that she knows the industry so well. The baby thinks about how thoughtful his mother is, remembering her excellent skill in choosing the right projects. As her phone rings again, she considers how she has to interact with all sorts of people in her profession. She is warned that if she keeps ignoring calls, she might miss out on an important one she has been waiting for. Both mother and son look up in surprise, wondering who the caller could be this time. A glance at the phone screen reveals the caller is PD Lee Jamin, a producer. He is known for a popular medical drama about a teacher and a student who work together as emergency room doctors. The most emotional part of the drama is when the strict teacher character succumbs to an illness and passes away. That scene, where he leaves behind his young son, was so heartbreaking that it moved many viewers to tears. And so on the phone, the producer explains they couldn't find a child actor for the son's role because their first choice got sick. He continues, saying he saw the variety show and noticed that Gangja looked a lot like the actor who played the teacher. The producer on the phone suddenly recalls that the actor who played the teacher was the famous Han Woojin. He remembers that Han Woojin is the go-to actor whenever they need someone exceptionally handsome for a role. Looking at the baby, he thinks the child looks so much like the actor that he would be perfect as his on-screen son. He explains to the actress that the son is the father's reason for living, so the child actor must be very lovable. And so he excitedly says her son is just like that, wondering aloud if the child is trying to protect someone with his small body. And so the producer quickly assures the actress that he will follow all the guidelines and won't push the young child too hard. She tells him she cannot go to the set but warns him with a menacing look that she is always watching, which startles him. So meanwhile, the baby remembers that he actually worked with this producer in a supporting role during his past life. He knows the producer is a passionate man, but even he backs down in front of his mother, showing her influence. The child smiles, thankful how easy his life is now, unlike his past when he had to run errands just for a cameo. He recalls the drama scene and realizes the child actor's role was only a few seconds long and lacked much impact. The bond between the father and son felt weak because the original child actor got sick and they found no good replacement, and his mother holds him, apologizing for not being able to go, while he wonders how he will guide the acting on set. A few days later, they arrive at a modern, luxurious house for the filming, and so a woman holds the baby at the entrance, but she looks pale and unwell, which makes the child feel concerned. He asks her if she is okay, and she quickly reassures him that she is fine, trying to hide her discomfort, and she points towards an arriving car and says his uncle is here, but the baby can clearly see that she is not well. A man in a flashy green sports car pulls up and enthusiastically calls out the baby's name as he gets out. The child waves hello, realizing that instead of his usual caretaker, it is Seo taking him to the set. Seo takes the baby from the woman's arms, telling her not to worry, and she thanks him for his help, and so woman waves goodbye, and the baby worries about her, thinking she looked like she was in pain earlier, and so he waves back, determined to collect more coins from the filming crew to help her with her health. At the filming set, Seo holds the baby and greets the producer PD Lee Jamin. The producer is startled, asking why the CEO came all the way to the set himself. The CEO jokes that he has to make an effort because he is all that is left at his company, making the baby admire his work ethic. He then proudly lifts the child, presenting him to the waiting producer. The baby gives a bright and cheerful hello, waving at the man in front of him. The producer is momentarily speechless, staring at the adorable child being held up to him. He is completely stunned, repeating how amazing the baby's face is, at a loss for words. CEO holds the child. The producer confirms that what he saw on TV was true. He adds that the baby's bright personality is a plus, and would create great chemistry for the role. The producer turns and excitedly calls out to the main actor, Han Woojin, announcing that his on-screen son has arrived. The baby's eyes sparkle with excitement as he hears the famous actor's name, eagerly looking around for him. A glimpse of a handsome man's profile appears, surrounded by a gentle, glowing light. The actor Han Woojin turns, revealing his striking features and captivating presence. In the drama, his character is a mentor who starts off cold but eventually opens his heart. Woojin walks over and looks at the child in the CEO's arms, asking if this is his son for the drama. He comments on how tragic it is for his character to die, leaving behind such a beautiful child. The actor then pats the baby's head, saying he is so pretty he could be a girl, much to the child's annoyance. The baby stays silent, pouting slightly at the actor's comment, clearly not pleased with the comparison. Despite his annoyance, the baby puts on a charming smile and greets the actor brightly. The actor Han Woojin is completely taken aback, looking flustered by the child's advanced behavior, so he asks the producer in disbelief if the baby can really eat and talk, while the child thinks it is only natural. Woojin calls the baby cute, and the producer explains that the child is the son of the famous actress, Ma Soo-jung. At the mention of her name, the actor's expression darkens, a reaction the baby does not fail to notice. The producer pinches the baby's cheek, joking that with such a cute child, a 3% viewership rating is guaranteed. And so Woojin then leans in, gently touching the baby's cheek and asking him to take care of the scene. The child grabs the actor's finger to get his attention, trying to introduce himself. He clearly says his name is Gongja, pointing to himself to make sure the actor understands. The actor smiles warmly, repeating the name as he processes the introduction. He then puts the last name and first name together, saying Gongja, finding the combination amusing. The actor suddenly bursts into laughter, unable to contain himself. He continues to laugh, covering his mouth and saying the name is surprisingly fitting. The baby gives the actor a sharp glare, annoyed that a grown man is laughing at a baby's name. The producer tells a director to ensure the child is sent back quickly after the shoot is finished. He then quietly asks Seo to put in a good word for him with the baby's powerful mother, and so, the child stands on the set, wondering if they are just going to start shooting without any instructions for him, and so he is concerned that no one is giving him any direction on what kind of expressions he should make. He overhears the producer saying that as long as the actor holds him and he does not cry, everything will be fine. The baby realizes they have no expectations for his acting, seeing him only as a baby who just started babbling. The baby knows he must take matters into his own hands, even if no one expects him to act. Just then, the actor, Han Woojin, smiles and calls for him to come over. He realizes that the success of the scene depends on his chemistry with his co-star. Determined, he opens his arms and asks the handsome actor to give him a hug. As the actor kneels, the baby walks towards him, wishing he could just be a clueless child in moments like these. He recalls that Han Woojin is a popular actor with a good reputation for being easy to work with. The actor suddenly lifts him up and starts swinging him around, making the baby feel dizzy. And despite the motion sickness, he decides to act as excited as possible, and the actor asks if he is having fun. The child now understands why the actor might not have gotten along with his previous child co-star. He just does not know how to play with kids. He thinks the actor's playing style is way too intense and that any normal child would have started crying by now. Still, he puts his heart and soul into pretending he is having a great time to build a good relationship. The actor finally stops, collapsing onto a nearby hospital bed, completely exhausted. The baby is just glad he had enough stamina to endure it. Seeing the actor knocked out, the baby thinks he is both handsome and diligent for trying so hard just because he thought he was enjoying it. The producer nervously warns the actor he will make the child cry, but Woojin points to the baby's calm face. To prove his point, the actor playfully brings the baby's tiny hand to his mouth and starts nibbling on it gently. He continues the gesture, showing how comfortable and playful their dynamic is. The baby just stares with a confused expression as the actor keeps his hand in his mouth. Annoyed, he shoots the actor a sideways glare, thinking the man is being incredibly childish. The actor tells the producer the baby loves it, while the child wonders if he is the one being played with, and so Woojin starts to think he might be naturally gifted with children, but the baby silently calls that a disease of delusion, and the actor leans in, asking if the baby likes their playful interaction, and the child just looks up at him. Then, the baby calls him Hyung, which makes the actor blush as a notification confirms he earns 700 coins for it. As the actor hugs him tightly, the child thinks his performance is so convincing anyone would believe they are real father and son. The man gets emotional, saying he cannot bear the thought of his character dying and leaving such a sweet child behind. He turns to the producer and seriously asks if they should consider changing the drama's ending. Woojin insists on the idea, putting the producer on the spot by asking if they should really alter the script. The producer is terrified, silently calling the top actor a scary jerk for throwing his weight around on set. However, he sees an opportunity and decides to shoot more footage since the young child is so cooperative. The baby is thrilled with this outcome, clenching his fists in excitement now that he has secured more screen time. But more screen time means he needs to prepare a better performance for the scene where he sees his dying father. He knows the key to a good performance is empathy, which is most effective when the situation is relatable to the audience. And since he has no father, he decides to draw on his experience of waiting for his mother to come home from work, and the child resolves to think about his mom during the scene to channel the right emotions for his character. As he has this thought, the actor suddenly feels a strange chill and looks around, sensing an odd presence. Instinctively, the baby grabs the actor's shirt, about to call out for his mama out of pure habit. He quickly corrects himself, looking up at his on-screen father and calling him Papa, silently apologizing to his real mom. The actor thinks back on his character, a mentor who wasn't warm at first but grows into a beloved, heartfelt figure. He remembers first seeing the child, asking the CEO if this was the one who would be playing his son. The memory of his character's tragic fate and leaving behind such an innocent-looking child comes flooding back. He also recalls his first interaction, patting the boy's head and teasing him for being as pretty as a girl. The baby remains silent, looking thoughtful after being teased by the actor, but he quickly replaces his pout with a bright smile, greeting the actor cheerfully. His advanced greeting completely stuns the actor, who looks on in disbelief, and he asks the producer if the baby can actually talk, while the child finds the question silly. Woojin is charmed by the cute child, and the producer explains he is the son of actress Ma Soo-jung. The actor's expression suddenly darkens at her name, a change the baby quickly notices. The producer pinches his cheek, confident that his cuteness will guarantee high ratings for the show. Woojin then leans in, gently touching the child's cheek and asking him to do well in the scene. A moment later, the baby grabs the actor's finger, determined to properly introduce himself. He clearly states that his name is Gongja, pointing to himself to make sure the actor understands. The actor smiles warmly, repeating the child's name with a gentle expression. He then combines the last and first name, Sayama Gongja, as the sound of it sinks in. A moment later, the actor bursts into laughter, unable to hold it back any longer. He laughs uncontrollably, covering his mouth while saying the name is surprisingly fitting. The baby glares at him, clearly annoyed that a grown man is laughing at his name, and the producer instructs a director to prepare for the shoot and send the child home right after. And so, he then quietly asks for someone to put in a good word for him with the baby's influential mother. Meanwhile, the child stands on set, wondering if they will film without giving any directions, and he is concerned, realizing he has not even seen the script for the scene yet. The baby closes his eyes in frustration, knowing he needs to know what expressions to make. He overhears the crew's low expectations, only caring that he does not cry, which he finds ridiculous. But he understands their perspective, as it is weird to expect a babbling baby to follow complex acting directions. Still, he is determined to defy their assumptions and show them his true capabilities on set. Just then, the handsome actor Han Woojin smiles warmly and calls for the baby to come over to him. The child realized the success of the scene hinges on building good chemistry with his co-star. He decides to get close, reaching his arms out and asking the actor for a hug to start things off. As the man kneels, the baby walks into his arms, wishing for a moment that he could just be a normal, clueless child. He recalls what he knows about the actor, that he has a good reputation for being easy to work with. Woojin lifts him up playfully, and despite feeling dizzy, the child forces himself to act as excited as possible. He quickly understands why the previous child actor might have had issues. This man simply does not know how to play with kids. The actor's style is so intense that he thinks any other child would have started crying from the rough play. Nevertheless, he pretends to have fun with all his might, committed to creating good on-screen chemistry. The intense play session ends with the actor collapsing onto a bed, completely exhausted from the effort. The baby looks down at the knocked-out man, thinking he is both handsome and diligent for trying so hard. A producer warns that the actor will make him cry, but Woojin points out that the child is perfectly fine, and to demonstrate their bond, he playfully brings the baby's tiny hand to his mouth and starts nibbling it. He continues the gentle gesture, trying to show everyone how comfortable they are with each other. The child just watches with a confused expression as the actor keeps his hand in his mouth. Annoyed by the strange act, he gives the man a sharp glare, thinking this behavior is incredibly childish. Woojin proudly tells the producer the baby loves it, while the child wonders who is really playing with whom. The actor proudly thinks he might be naturally good with kids, but the baby silently calls his delusion a disease. The man leans in, asking the child if he enjoys their playful interaction, waiting for a response. The baby then calls him Hyung, and a notification confirms the actor liked it, earning him 700 coins. As the actor hugs him tightly, the child thinks his performance is so convincing they could pass as real father and son. The man gets emotional, saying he cannot bear the thought of his character dying and leaving such a sweet child behind. He turns to the producer and seriously asks if they should change the drama's ending, but the baby internally objects. The actor insists, putting the producer on the spot by asking if they should really alter the script for him. The producer is terrified, silently calling the top actor a scary jerk for throwing his weight around on set. But he sees an opportunity and decides to shoot more footage since the young child is so cooperative. The baby is thrilled with this outcome, clenching his fists in excitement now that he has secured more screen time. But more screen time means he needs to prepare a better performance for the scene where he sees his dying father. He knows the key to a good performance is empathy, which is most effective when the situation is relatable to the audience. And so since he has no father, he decides to draw on his experience of waiting for his mother to come home from work. And so, the child resolves to think about his mom during the scene to channel the right emotions for his character. As he has this thought, the actor suddenly feels a strange chill and looks around, sensing an odd presence. Instinctively, the baby grabs the actor's shirt, about to call out for his mama out of pure habit. He quickly corrects himself, looking up at his on-screen father and calling him Papa, silently apologizing to his real mom. Meanwhile, back at home, a furious voice yells out, cursing the actor Han Woojin's name. It is the actress, angry that the man is trying to take her son, but her maid reminds her the baby is still on set. The woman quickly collects herself, realizing she was getting carried away by her emotions. The baby is shocked by his mother's menacing thoughts, realizing she is not toning down her anger at all. On set, Seo begs the actor not take the child, fearing the mother's wrath, while another man clings to him. The actor cheekily asks the CEO to sacrifice himself in his place, making the baby think he is completely insane. He sighs, concluding that all this chaos and drama must be happening simply because he is too cute. His eyes widen in sudden realization as a thought crosses his mind. Back at the house, the maid looks on nervously as the actress rolls up her sleeves, ready for a fight. The baby thinks to himself that he knew this was bound to happen eventually. He recalls that his on-set performance managed to earn him a large number of coins from the actor Han Woojin. A wave of panic washes over him as he processes the situation in the passage of time. And 4 months have passed since the filming started, and he is now eating solid food. He has grown significantly, now able to hold his own spoon and eat by himself. The maid watches him, noting that he has moved beyond babbling and can now form proper sentences. His little feet take steady steps across the floor, showing his new mobility. The young child now walks confidently, having finally broken his 10-step walking jinx. He happily runs around the kitchen after his meal, and the maid asks if he is already done eating. She praises him for eating so well, promising he will grow up to be big and tall. And so the baby remembers that the housekeeper had refused to go to the hospital, so his mother had to force her. Her 4-month absence cost a lot of coins, indicating her health was very poor, making him feel regretful. Suddenly, a door opens and a voice calls out in surprise at the sight before her. The child waves happily, greeting his grandmother and assuring her that he has not forgotten about her. The grandmother dismisses the maid, telling her she can leave, and the woman bows in understanding before departing, and she then turns her attention to the baby in her arms, starting to speak to him with a serious expression. The older woman holds him close, informing him that his name was brought up during her breakfast meeting that morning. He looks up at her, suspecting that any discussion about an adopted child at such a formal meeting was likely not positive, and she confirms his fears, telling him they dared to ask how long she planned on keeping him, which has clearly soured her mood. The woman holds him even tighter, and he senses that despite her anger, she is not going to abandon him just yet. She then complains about her daughter's recent actions, calling them useless and criticizing her for spending money on a servant. Her harsh words continue, questioning the point of paying for a servant's recovery when hiring a new one would be cheaper. Hearing this, the baby gets angry and starts hitting his grandmother's shoulder, much to her surprise. Meanwhile, back at the actress's home, a hand slams down forcefully on a table in frustration, and Seo tells the actress that parents have much to consider when their child is exceptional, seemingly defending her anger. The woman lies on the couch, stressed about the actor demanding her son and the CEO's recent behavior. Her companion reveals that the producer already wants to cast the boy in his next project and asks if she was bragging about him. The CEO shows her a trending highlight video from the drama, insisting they need to make the young master a famous actor. He questions why she is not accepting more work for her son, mentioning the many commercial offers they have received. She explains they do not need the money and are donating all of his appearance fees from the drama. The actress states firmly that her son is barely 2 years old and she refuses to let him be overwhelmed by work. News reports praise the drama's high ratings, highlighting the baby's cute performance and his amazing on-screen chemistry. The woman still cannot believe the producer changed the drama's ending just for her son, something she never would have imagined, and so the new ending shows a grown-up version of his character walking through the hospital, greeting everyone as a doctor. And this new final scene mirrors the first episode, where the main character also made his entrance by greeting people. The man introduces himself as Kang Jua, creating a book and narrative structure that the CEO and actress find very effective. The young man looks down with a gentle and slightly melancholic expression on his face. The new ending implies that the original main character will now become a mentor to the grown-up son of his late teacher, and the CEO gets emotional, saying the thought of the baby growing up like that makes him tear up, while the actress agrees. He then asks if her son will need a manager, adding that he would not mind taking him around himself forever. The woman explains that more than a manager, he needs a nanny, especially since their regular housekeeper is still in the hospital, and she asks the CEO if he happens to know anyone diligent who could take on the role. The man pauses for a moment, a thoughtful expression on his face as he considers her request. He then smiles, confirming that there is actually one person who comes to mind for the job. The actress looks up, surprised and curious, asking him who this person is, and so he tells her he will introduce them later, but for now, she should answer her constantly ringing phone. Suddenly, she lets out a piercing scream, throwing her phone across the room in a state of panic. The CEO rushes to her side, asking what happened, but she just looks terrified and asks him to pray for her soul. A look at the cracked phone screen reveals a call from a glamorous blonde woman, the source of her fear. Sometime later, a man on a video call cheerfully greets the baby, telling him he is cute again today. The child notes that the man has been getting a lot of screen time himself, as his voice is hoarse from taking so many calls. He gratefully explains that the baby's fame has helped his company's rookie get work, which impresses the child. He then announces that they will be shooting a commercial together later that day. The man reveals the concept is a fairy tale, and the baby looks up in excitement, exclaiming that he loves fairy tales. The man playfully squishes the baby's cheeks, announcing he will be the rabbit in the storybook, and the child cheers. And he also mentions that an interview crew is coming to the set that day, which surprises the young child. So, the baby's eyes sparkle with excitement at the thought of being interviewed. Later, he arrives at the commercial shoot, his little feet dangling as he is carried by an adult. A group of staff members with glowing red eyes stare at him intently as he is brought in. They are all captivated by his cuteness, commenting on how much he has already grown. Notifications pop up, confirming he has earned coins from the staff members who are delighted by his looks. One person comments that he is in a league of his own compared to other child models they have seen. A director explains that an entertainment show is filming the shoot, which is a first for a kid's clothing commercial. The child smiles, knowing that with a face like his, the extra attention is well worth it. So a staff member admits she was worried the designer's clothes would be old-fashioned, but she thinks they will suit him well. The baby stands proudly ready for the shoot, and the director chuckles, saying he is counting on him. However, the child's smile fades when he sees the fairy tale outfit, a formal, princely suit, and the CEO notices his expression and asks if he is uncomfortable, though he looks more worried than the child. And so the baby knows his mother was hesitant about this commercial but could not refuse because of the famous designer. The director then instructs him to sit in a large, ornate chair, which the child recognizes as a throne, and he is then told to turn his head from side to side, and he is relieved to finally be getting some acting direction. The director tells him to look back at the camera and smile as if he is seeing a new toy. The child processes the instructions, clarifying that he needs to look around and then smile at the camera. And he sits on the throne, moved that the director is giving him directions himself now that the media knows he can communicate, and the camera rolls as the director calls for the scene to start, putting everyone on standby. On cue, the baby looks from side to side, remembering his instruction to smile brightly. He channels the feeling of seeing something intriguing and fun, his eyes wide with curiosity. In his mind, he summons the same look he gets when he meets a master director with a masterpiece script. He then breaks into a brilliant, joyful smile, his arms wide open in pure delight, and the director immediately calls cut. The crew is stunned, asking if the director really just called cut after a single take. Then the man is ecstatic, praising the baby's sparkling performance and drooling with excitement, and the child smiles smugly, thinking about the expression he used when he met a famous director at his first birthday party. The director is amazed, admitting he rarely ever gets a perfect one-take shot like that and decides to move on. The next scene features a pair of long, pink rabbit ears peeking out from behind a corner, and so a soft fluffy bunny tail is then shown, hinting at the baby's adorable new costume. He appears in a full pink bunny suit, hugging a stuffed rabbit and surrounded by flowers. The crew is once again stunned into silence, and the director asks if they should start shooting immediately. The cameras roll again as the next scene begins, capturing the new setup. The baby in his bunny costume peeks out from behind some green bushes with his long ears perked up. He then pops out with a bright smile, playfully adjusting his bunny ears for the camera. One of his eyes is seen peeking through the leaves, creating a sense of playful hide and seek. He jumps out from the bushes, arms outstretched in a joyful expression, and the scene is a success. The crew members are so captivated by his cuteness that they start to make excited noises, trying to contain themselves. A camerawoman holds her equipment, completely focused on capturing every adorable moment of the shoot. The director stands with a cameraman, a serious expression on his face as he observes the set. An interview crew from Entertainment Stroll arrives, their cameras and lighting set up for the scheduled interview, and staff is so mesmerized by the baby's cuteness that they forget he is just a child, taking countless pictures. A reporter holds a microphone, greeting the viewers and announcing they are at the famous baby's commercial shoot. The child sits for the interview, happily introducing himself to the reporter and the cameras, and the female reporter is overcome with emotion, clutching her chest as she is overwhelmed by his adorable presence. She starts the interview, asking him what he likes the most, eager to hear his answer. With a bright, joyful smile, the baby enthusiastically shouts out that he loves his mama more than anything. The reporter is flustered again, her heart fluttering in his sweet and innocent response. She apologizes for her reaction, admitting she cannot stay calm in front of him, and then asks about the boy band Yahello. The baby confirms that he remembers the members of Yahello, and the reporter is delighted. He briefly worries if he answered too quickly, but then dismisses the thought, confident in his own genius. He shakes his head, ready for the next question, maintaining his composure like a professional. The reporter asks which member of the group he likes the most, a question the child was fully expecting. He pauses for a moment before giving his answer, carefully choosing his words to be diplomatic. He confidently states that he likes all of them, a safe and charming response that surprises the reporter. She asks if he is saying that because he does not want to hurt anyone's feelings, and the child just smiles mysteriously, thinking to himself that being so thoughtful is simply his fate. The reporter is completely charmed, admitting that her cheeks hurt from smiling so much during the interview. The baby then mimics her action, pinching his own cheeks, and she asks if she can pinch them too, to which he happily agrees. The reporter gently holds the baby's face in her hands, her touch soft and affectionate as she looks at him. He responds with a brilliant, happy smile, clearly enjoying the attention and affection from the reporter. And so following the commercials airing, the outfits he wore in the shoot completely sold out, proving his massive popularity. The young child sits on the floor and asks the man standing over him if he is scared. Flustered, the man known as Duck Su quickly denies it, looking away with a nervous expression. He then admits it's the first time he has ever seen a baby who doesn't cry after looking at him, and the child's mother is shocked by his confession, feeling an immediate sense of kinship with the man, and she grabs his hands firmly, expressing that they are fellow sufferers who can sympathize with each other. Dex, who seems taken aback by her sudden gesture and awkwardly reminds her about the interview. Later, the woman sits on the sofa with her son, thanking Mr. Duck Su because the child wasn't hurt, and so, he humbly replies that it was nothing, and that he was honored to have helped them out, and so the man adds that it was a privilege to hold the young boy, who seems unimpressed by the compliment. His mother then changes the subject, asking how he knows Seo. He explains that he met him by chance while working at a snack bar that the CEO's family often visited, and she is surprised to hear that he used to work at a snack bar, holding her son close. A flashback shows him serving food at the snack bar, as the child looks on with a skeptical expression, and the man proudly states that the business has been run for 3 generations, with his older brother in charge now. And so impressed, the woman comments on its history and tradition while hugging her son tightly. She then asks about his early childhood education degree, and he confirms he dreamed of being a kindergarten teacher, and so, he explains that he couldn't get a job in the field because nobody would hire him with his intimidating face. But he didn't give up on his dream and instead focused on saving money however he could, and his goal was to run a kindergarten himself, thinking that being a principal was a good alternative. As he speaks, the baby suddenly thinks of someone else who has a similar appearance. The woman wonders if it would be okay for him to be just one child's helper, as her son looks on with a stressed expression. The man looks down with a blush, saying this is about ganja specifically. He clutches his chest, overcome with emotion as he repeats that her son is the first child who doesn't cry when seeing him. The mother looks on with a wide-eyed, surprised expression, listening to his heartfelt confession. With a knowing smile she addresses Mr. Deok-soo, having made a decision, and so she tells him that he's hired and warmly asks him to please come with them. The man looks up, completely overwhelmed with joy and relief by her offer. She then adds that she is in the same situation, as her son is the only child she gets along with. He is surprised to hear this, admitting he thought children just didn't like strangers in general. The woman explains that since her son is a child actor, he would need to accompany him to filming sets. He confidently replies that he heard she was looking for a live-in nanny. The man adds that his house is in Bong-X-Dong, so living in would be better than commuting, and the child suddenly shouts in protest, completely against the idea of the man selling his house. Mr. X looks over, confused by the baby's sudden and strong outburst. The mother is also surprised by her son's reaction to the mention of Bong-X-Dong. The boy frantically shakes his head, thinking that property values there will skyrocket soon, and she explains to the man that her son seems to be talking about the house, asking if he wants him to commute. Seeing the child's reaction, the man agrees that he won't sell his house and will commute instead. The mother asks if that would be okay, while her son thinks the man will have to bow to him later. She then turns to her son with a gentle smile and asks him if he likes the uncle. The child looks on with a serious expression, considering his mother's question about the man. He observes the nervous man, thinking he must have been hurt by children before but has found the right place now. With a bright, cheerful smile, the boy thinks to himself that he is not an ordinary kid. Sue stares back, completely surprised by the child's warm and accepting expression. Overcome with emotion, the man suddenly starts to cry, tears streaming down his face. The mother watches the scene unfold, her own eyes widening with surprise and emotion. In a brief flashback, she recalls seeing a child for the first time. Tears well up in her eyes as she remembers that even then, he didn't feel like a stranger. Back in the present, she bites her lip, trying to contain her own overwhelming feelings. The child becomes flustered seeing both adults crying, finding the situation increasingly difficult. He grips his shirt tightly and calls out to Deok-soo to get his attention. While sitting on his mother's lap, he turns to the man and encourages him to smile. The man sniffles, trying his best to compose himself after the child's kind gesture, and his mother smiles warmly, thinking it is an honor that Mr. Deok-soo will be working with her son. Deok-soo announces he can start working immediately, putting aside his plans to organize his house. The baby gives him a skeptical side eye, still concerned about the man's housing plans. But when the man adds that he'll look into renting, the child breaks into a satisfied smile. The mother asks if he can help her right away, and he eagerly agrees to start. Getting ready to work, he picks up a large gray cloth to use as a makeshift apron. He then ties the cloth neatly around his waist, prepared to begin his new job. He carefully wipes a kitchen knife with a cloth, showing his precision and focus on his task. The child watches in amazement as the man moves with surprising skill, cooking with flair and energy. With a proud look, he presents a beautifully arranged bento box, announcing that the food is ready. A small fork reaches for a piece of the perfectly cooked rolled omelette inside the lunch box. The boy takes a big bite, his cheeks puffed out as he happily enjoys the delicious meal. Suddenly, he is struck with awe, his eyes wide with shock and delight at the incredible taste. He feels like he's floating in the air, completely blown away by how delicious the food is. Sometime later, an elderly woman sits with the child, mentioning she already filmed something again. The boy notes this is his grandma. She says she hears talk about him everywhere, feeling embarrassed. The child observes that she seems stiffer than usual, but the talk is good this time. The woman turns her gaze to the young boy, her expression softening slightly as she evaluates his appearance. He looks up at her, realizing it is rare for her to comment on his looks like this. The child crawls toward her, excited for a compliment, but she tells him not to think she has accepted him. The older woman sternly reminds him that he is just something attached to her daughter. He watches her, noticing she is struggling to finish her sentence, trying to call him a name. She eventually gives up and says to forget it. The child realizes she stopped herself from calling him a mongrel, and he then hugs her leg, getting her attention by calling out the word son. When she asks what he means, he happily declares that he is his mommy's son. Annoyed, she asks why he is her daughter's son, muttering that she found him on the street. Lying on his back, he smiles brightly and explains it is because his mommy loves him very much. Just then, an elderly man with a cane walks in, surprised to find the woman there. The older woman turns away, her expression unreadable as she leaves the room. A man comments on her frequent visits to the annex lately, his tone thoughtful. And elsewhere, a woman named Lee Gyung confirms her identity over the phone, mentioning a favor she asked a reporter about. Back in an office, the child's mother asks a man about the paparazzi swarming their house. He nervously replies that he's overstepping his authority by even addressing it. She explains her son's fame grew after the commercial, making it unsafe to go out, but she adds that home isn't safe either. And confused, the man asks about their tight security, wondering how there could be a threat at home. She reveals her suspicion that someone bought a reporter, but she hasn't dealt with it yet. The woman decides they need a live-in person to look after her son, and her companion thinks this is the perfect solution, and so reminds her about the person he offered to introduce, revealing he already contacted them and they were happy to accept. She looks intrigued and asks him what kind of person they are. With a confident smile and a thumbs up, he personally guarantees their sincere and trustworthy character. He tells her she'll see how genuine they are once she gets to know them, which she finds a bit vague. He continues praising the person, describing them as someone who is like a monk and always helps others. Growing a bit desperate, he puts a hand to his chest and asks if she doesn't trust him, urging her to just meet them first. The woman gives him a suspicious look, clearly not convinced by his enthusiastic recommendation, and he crosses his arms with a pout, pleading for her to have a little more faith in him. 1 week later, the young child is seen lying alone on a large bed next to a smartphone. He gets up and looks down at the phone, a determined expression on his face. He thinks about the coins he has accumulated but wants to see for himself just how famous he has become. He lies on the bed, thinking about all the gushing comments and feedback he wants to see online. Rolling around, he decides he must find out the price he'll have to pay to get a smartphone. A notification pops up stating it will cost 100 coins just to view the price, which leaves him in shock. And despite the high cost for just a look, he steels his resolve and decides to find out anyway. And so the system reveals the price for him to get a smartphone is for his mother to give up 3 movies. And he is completely baffled by this condition, his mind filled with nothing but question marks. The boy closes his eyes, wondering if she is adjusting her schedule because she thinks he feels lonely. Just then, his mother's cheerful voice calls out to him, and he realizes it is exactly something she would do, and she picks him up and gives him an affectionate kiss, asking if he had a good dream. He happily says yes, thinking about his smartphone dream, but ultimately decides to give up on it for her sake. His mother then tells him a new uncle is coming today and asks if he wants to say hello with her. A woman peeks in to announce that the interview preparations are complete, which surprises the child. A man in a red suit and dark sunglasses sits imposingly on the living room sofa. He has a stern expression, his sunglasses hiding his eyes, and a visible scar on his cheek. The boy's mother stares at the visitor, completely shocked by his intimidating appearance. The child thinks the man looks like he is here to pressure someone, wondering if a company went bankrupt. With a serious tone, the man looks up and announces that he is here for the nanny interview. The boy is in utter disbelief, questioning if this is seriously the person who is supposed to take care of him. He observes the man's muscular build, thinking he looks reliable, perhaps a little too reliable. And so, a faint blush appears on his cheek as a sudden thought occurs to him, wondering if this could be the person from before. As the women watch, the young boy suddenly runs toward the man in the red suit, and his mother asks where he is going. He suddenly loses his balance and trips, falling backward as his mother cries out his name in alarm. Reacting in an instant, the man lunges forward, determined to catch the falling child. He reaches out with both hands, moving with surprising speed and agility to intercept the boy. The man catches him and dives to the floor, using his own body to cushion the fall, much to the mother's surprise. She looks down at the man lying on the floor with her son and calls out his name, Dak-su, in concern. As he lies there, he asks the child if he is alright, confirming the boy's suspicion that this is the same person. Held securely in his arms, the child feels the man's muscles and assures him he is okay, wondering if the man is nervous. The boy then confidently introduces himself and asks the stranger for his name. The man introduces himself as Kim Dak-su, while thinking to himself that the child is cute. The young boy looks up at the man sitting before him and asks if he is scared. The man looks flustered, quickly denying that he is afraid of him. He reflects that this is the first time a baby has not cried upon seeing his face. Watching them, the boy's mother has a sudden look of understanding and kinship, and so she grabs the man's hands, asking him to take care of her as they share a sympathetic moment. And so he awkwardly pulls his hand away, trying to bring the conversation back to the interview. Later, she sits on the couch holding her son, thanking the man for preventing the boy from getting hurt, and so he humbly replies that it was nothing, and that he was honored to help. And so the man adds that he was truly honored to be able to hold the young child. The mother then changes the subject, curiously asking how he knows CEO Seo, and he explains they met by chance at a snack bar he worked at, which the CEO often visited. She seems surprised by this revelation, repeating that he worked at a snack bar. A brief image shows him working behind the counter, serving food to customers. The man proudly states the snack bar has been in his family for 3 generations. Impressed, the mother hugs her child and comments on its history and tradition. He then admits he once dreamed of being a kindergarten teacher, which makes her wonder why he did not. He explains that with his intimidating appearance, no one was willing to hire him. However, he did not give up and continued to save whatever money he could, and so he passionately declares that if he could not be a teacher, he would become a principal instead. As he listens, the young boy is suddenly reminded of another man with a similarly stern look. She then asks if he would be okay with being a helper for just one child. The man looks down with a slight blush, softly saying the boy's name. He clutches his heart, touched, explaining that this is the first child who has not cried upon seeing him. The woman is taken aback by his emotional reaction, while her son still looks a bit stressed. With a knowing smile, she addresses the man as Mr. Duck. Sue, having made her decision, she happily informs him that he is hired and invites him to join them, leaving him looking stunned, and she then confesses that she is in a similar situation, as she also struggles to get along with children. He seems surprised by her admission, having thought children were just naturally wary of strangers. She adds that the job will require him to accompany her son to filming sets, asking if he can do it. The man confirms he knew she was looking for a live-in nanny and is fully prepared for the commitment. He mentions his house is in Bongexdong, and since he planned to sell it, living in would be perfect. Upon hearing this, the young boy internally panics, desperately thinking that cannot happen. The man looks over at the child, confused by his sudden and intense reaction. The mother is also surprised, turning to her son to see what is causing his outburst. The boy frantically thinks about the future, knowing property values in that area are about to skyrocket. She interprets his panic, guessing he wants the man to commute instead of selling his house. The man agrees without hesitation, saying if the boy wants it, he will commute instead. She asks if he would really be okay with that, as her son privately thinks the man will thank him later. With a playful smile, she leans in close to her son, ready to ask him something important. She asks if he likes his new uncle, but the boy simply gives her a skeptical side eye. And so, the boy looks at the man's nervous posture and thinks that he must have been hurt by children a lot in the past, and he then breaks into a wide, happy smile, thinking that he is no ordinary child and this will be different. The man looks back at the boy, his expression still a little uncertain and surprised. Suddenly, tears begin to stream down the man's face, overwhelmed with emotion. The boy's mother watches from the side, her eyes wide with shock at his sudden crying. A flashback shows her first meeting with the child, her expression full of wonder, and so recalls that even though it was their first time meeting, he did not feel like a stranger at all. Back in the present, a small, knowing smile plays on her lips as she watches the scene unfold. The young boy is now completely confused, wondering why both adults are crying. He tugs on his mother's shirt, trying to get her attention and make sense of the situation. He then points at the man and tells him to smile, trying to cheer him up. The man lets out a small sniffle, attempting to compose himself after his emotional outburst. And so, the mother thinks to herself that seeing her son must have been an honor for him. And having calmed down, the man announces that he is ready to start working immediately. The boy gives him a wary look as the man explains his original plan to organize his house. He then adds that he will look into renting it instead, which brings a happy smile to the boy's face. The mother asks if he could start helping her today, and he readily agrees. Without a moment's hesitation, he takes off his suit jacket, preparing to get to work. He ties an apron around his waist, officially starting his new job as the boy's nanny. The man then picks up a large kitchen knife, looking ready and determined to start cooking. The young boy watches in amazement as his new nanny moves with incredible grace and skill in the kitchen. With a confident smile, the man presents a perfectly prepared meal box, announcing that the food is ready. A small fork gently pierces a piece of the freshly made rolled omelette. The child takes a large bite, his cheeks puffing out as he savors the delicious flavor. His eyes wide in shock and delight, completely blown away by how good the food tastes. And he feels as if he is floating, overwhelmed by the deliciousness of the professionally cooked meal. And the table is filled with a variety of healthy and perfectly balanced dishes, all looking incredible. He continues to eat happily, impressed by the high quality of his new diet. Later, the man proudly notes how well the boy eats, feeling moved by the time they spend together. The narrator explains his mother hired the nanny because she saw her own struggles reflected in him. The nanny mentions that someone from the movie industry is visiting, so they should prepare after eating. The news comes as a shock to the young boy, who immediately drops his fork onto the floor. He looks up in a panic, his mouth open as he asks who is coming to visit them. Without waiting for an answer, he starts rapidly shoveling the rest of his food into his mouth. He even lifts the entire plate to his face to make sure he finishes every last bite. After a moment, he slams the now empty plate down on the table, finished with his meal. He then calls out to his nanny, gesturing that it is time to brush his teeth. A young man with brown hair arrives, thinking the boy has grown a lot but is still just as beautiful. The visitor kneels down, asking if the child remembers him, and the boy runs to him happily. He gives the man a big hug, calling him Director Lee Jin-hwan, much to the nanny's displeasure. The director holds up a script, officially announcing that he wants to cast the young boy in his first work. He explains that it is his debut film, which he has been preparing for a long time but got delayed. The nanny looks at the director's business card, philosophically stating that life is about direction, not speed. The director is confused by the seemingly random comment, not understanding what he means. Holding the child protectively, the nanny asks why he wants to cast their boy specifically, and so the director passionately explains that he felt an instant connection and that the movie must have him. He then reveals that a famous actor, Han Woo-jin, has agreed to join the project if the boy is cast. The boy looks stressed, recalling the overly affectionate actor with a strained expression. The director admits the movie desperately needs investment, which Han-woo, Jin's name, would secure. He explains that another potential investor is demanding their own son be cast as a condition. If that happens, the director worries the entire casting will become a mess, ruining the film. The boy remembers this movie was criticized for its acting and thinks he could solve that problem. The nanny turns to the young child, gently asking for his opinion on the movie offer. The director leans in close, pleading with the boy, who thinks this is too much pressure for a 2-year-old. The child recalls that while this film failed, the director later became a huge success. The nanny mentions he glanced at the script and is concerned about some potentially scary scenes. The director reassures them that they have arranged for psychological care, surprising the nanny. The boy thinks about setting a new, better standard for how child actors are treated in the industry. So filled with determination, he tugs on his nanny's shirt and declares that he wants to do it. With a bright, happy smile, he confirms his decision to take the role, ready for the challenge. The nanny and the director stare at each other, both looking equally surprised by the boy's decision. Their surprised expressions continue, both men clearly processing the unexpected turn of events. With a serious look, the nanny adds one final condition, demanding that the boy's nap time is guaranteed. On the day of the filming, the nanny arrives carrying the young child, both looking professional and ready. The film crew, including the director, excitedly announces that the child actor has finally arrived on set. The director and his assistant are overjoyed, welcoming the boy as their savior sent from heaven. He puts the child down, who understands that the enthusiastic welcome is thanks to the top actor joining the cast. The director kneels, asking the boy to take care of them and do what he says, ensuring a smooth filming process. And so he then explains the first scene, telling the child that he will be acting with his grandmother. The director reassures him that even if the actress seems scary, she is only pretending to be angry for the scene. The boy wonders who will play the grandmother, speculating that the casting has changed with the new star power. The director turns and calls out to an older woman, introducing her to the young child actor. The boy looks up, his eyes widening slightly as he sees his co-star for the very first time. A woman with light purple hair and a stern expression asks if this is the child actor for the protagonist. A faint blush appears on the boy's cheeks as he continues to look up at the veteran actress, and she studies him for a moment, her expression thoughtful as she comments that he seems too young for the part. Later, during a meal break, the cast and crew line up to get food from a buffet. The actress calls out to a young man named Joe, telling him to come and eat with them, and he smiles politely and rubs the back of his neck, explaining that he is an extra without a meal ticket. She looks at him sternly, reminding him that he acted in the scene too and deserves to eat, and she tells the young extra not to discriminate based on roles. The veteran actress adds that all actors appearing in one project are the same. After that, her expression softens as she turns to the young boy. With a kind smile, she asks if he is Sujong's son, Gangja. The child looks up in complete surprise, a blush on his cheeks. He recognizes her as the famous actress, Teacher Yoon Jong-hyun. The narrator introduces Teacher Yoon Jong-hyun, a veteran actress who has worked consistently in the industry for decades. And so, the young boy thinks about how well she took care of him. It is his first time meeting someone he had such a close relationship with. He tells the famous actress that everything she wears sells out immediately, showing how popular she is. A crew member then adds that they even changed a drama's ending because of her. The actress asks if the boy also appeared in that show. She questions if the child can act well, doubting his ability because of his age. The boy remembers she is always fair about acting. The actress accuses the director of casting the boy based only on his looks. The director looks nervous, knowing it was because of an investor, and she admits that she does not get along well with child actors. The director says he will give good directions and that the boy is used to cameras. She then asks if the child can even communicate. He overhears her complaining about insomnia and headaches, which surprises him. A system window then appears, offering to cure insomnia for 77 coins. As a price, he will smell like lavender for a month. The boy closes his eyes, annoyed by the thought of smelling like lavender for a whole month, but he remembers she was like a mentor to him and accepts the cost. The system confirms the action has been executed. Suddenly, the veteran actress lets out a big yawn, feeling an unexpected wave of sleepiness. She holds the boy close, saying she feels sleepy and that he reminds her of her grandmother. And just then, a staff member calls out, telling the child actor that it is time to get ready for the scene. The actress gently puts the boy down on the ground, telling him that he should go now to prepare. She tells the director she thinks she can finally sleep well and that they should film quickly. The boy runs towards the staff. As the young actor walks away with the crew member, the actress yawns again, still feeling drowsy. The staff member explains that she is usually too on edge to even close her eyes on set, and the boy agrees. And so he then points to a large fan nearby, telling the boy that he will feel the wind from it during the scene. The director then asks him to give a small, subtle smile for the camera. The young actor wonders what a small smile looks like. The director demonstrates the expression he wants, showing him exactly how to give a subtle, gentle smile. The child actor immediately mimics the look, asking with a slight smile if he did it correctly. Impressed, the director praises him for being so smart and getting it right on the first try. The movie is a fantasy story about a protagonist who can see red threads of connection on people's wrists, and so the boy is playing the child version of this protagonist, the one with the ability to see the threads. He knows the director will become a legend, and wonders if this movie's success will alter the future. With the camera pointed at the sky and the set prepared, the director calls for everyone to get ready. He then yells action, and the large industrial fan whirs to life, sending a strong breeze across the set. The young boy sits perfectly still, his expression calm as the wind gently blows through his hair. He gazes up towards the sky, fully immersed in his character's quiet and contemplative moment. A slight, peaceful smile forms on his face as he looks up, his eyes reflecting the bright daylight. So the director immediately calls cut, telling the crew that the take was good and they got the shot. And the child actor seems surprised, thinking to himself that the scene was over very quickly. Staring in shock, the director wonders aloud if he directed the scene well to get such a perfect result. And so, the boy internally corrects him, thinking that it was his own great acting that made the scene work so well. And the director admits he was about to give up on expressing such difficult emotions, but the boy nailed it. That the crew praises the amazing cinematography and asks for another bust shot, telling the boy to do the same thing. And so later, the director discusses the script with the veteran actress, confirming that the next scene is with her. The boy thinks about how the role was changed from an unknown actor to Teacher Yoon, ensuring a better performance. He feels he can now immerse himself in the scene, ready to act alongside the talented actress. The director explains the next scene, telling the boy that the grandmother character is going to scold him harshly. The boy remembers this part, and he kneels down, reassuring the child that the actress is not really angry, and the young actor confirms that he understands. But the veteran actress questions if the kid can even grasp the concept. The director quickly defends him, saying he is very smart. She gives a slight, skeptical smile. The boy senses that she still does not seem to trust his acting abilities. The director then picks him up, telling him it is okay to be scared and cry when she grabs his shoulders. The boy seems surprised by this direction. With a menacing look, the actress adds that if he does not cry, she can make it scarier to force him. Both the director and the boy look intimidated. The young actor thinks the previous child actor must have been unskilled. He also notes that many parts of the scene have changed from what he knew. A crew member announces they are ready to film. The director looks nervous as he tells the boy it is time to start the scene. The actress thinks about how sleepy she is and her need to rest after this. The boy feels a bit guilty, knowing he is the cause of her drowsiness. As the scene begins, her hand firmly grips his small shoulder, immediately setting an intense tone. She kneels in front of him, her expression severe as she warns him that he must not speak a single word. Leaning in close, her voice rises as she angrily commands him to shut his mouth right now. Her eyes are filled with a frightening intensity, glaring at him with pure, unadulterated anger for the scene. The boy's eyes widen in genuine shock. He thinks to himself that this is actually very scary. The actress's fierce expression remains as she repeats the line, her voice sharp and commanding. The intensity in her eyes does not waver, keeping the frightening atmosphere of the scene at its peak. A bead of sweat drips down his face as he stares back, his expression frozen in genuine fear. His lip begins to tremble, his entire body shaking slightly from the powerful performance. Overwhelmed by the intensity, the boy's head slowly drops down, completely silent and still. The actress looks down at him, her stern expression softening slightly as she waits for his next reaction. As he looks down, a single tear falls, followed by more, showing his genuine emotional reaction to the scene. The actress watches him, her stern character facade still in place as the boy begins to sob quietly in front of her. With tears streaming down his face, the director finally yells cut, signaling the end of the powerful take. Instantly breaking character, the actress pulls the boy into a comforting hug, gently stroking his head. He buries his face in her shoulder, letting out a small sniffle as she holds him close. After the intense scene, the director rushes over, his voice filled with concern as he asks if the young actor is okay. The boy continues to tremble, clutching her shirt tightly. The director thinks he must have been very startled. She gently pulls back to look at him, asking if he is alright, and if she heard him when she gripped his shoulder. He shakes his head no, taking a calming breath. He feels relieved that the intense scene is finally over. She smiles, saying it was worthwhile, even though her arms are stiff. The boy thinks she is very meticulous. The director praises his performance, saying they captured a more immersive scene because of his tears. He thanks the boy for his hard work. The actress smiles warmly, explaining that she was also being sincere while acting with him, and she then looks at him with a proud and gentle expression, asking if he thinks he did a good job. A warm light fills the room as she gently touches his cheek, creating a peaceful and tender moment between them. Later, the scene shifts to a bright, sunny day at a beautiful, calm beach with gentle waves. A man who appears to be his guardian tells him not to go too far as he runs toward the ocean, and the boy agrees. As he stands by the water, he thinks that this is his last scene. He wishes he had more screen time. Later on, he stands on a street feeling frustrated about how slowly time is passing. He wants to grow up faster. His attention is then drawn to a group of people gathered nearby, creating a small commotion on the street. He spots the actor Han Woo, Jin among the crowd and wonders with annoyance why he is showing up again. The popular actor Han Woo-jin turns his head, his sharp gaze fixed on something just off screen with a serious expression, and his focus is revealed to be the small child standing alone on the sandy shore, watching the waves roll in, and suddenly, his expression brightens into a wide, radiant smile as he excitedly calls out the young boy's name. He asks if the child remembers him. The boy recognizes the famous actor, noting how he shines even from a distance. Kneeling down, the man comments on how much the child has grown. The boy thought they would have met on set since they are in the same movie. The actor then pulls him into a tight, affectionate hug asking if he missed him. The boy denies it internally but verbally agrees. Continuing the hug, the man says he missed him too, even getting his hair pulled by someone named Sujong because of it. He recalls Sujong pulling his hair, demanding to see the child. The man thinks he should take care of him instead, believing the boy likes him. The veteran actress approaches, asking why he is here when he is not filming. He playfully tosses the boy into the air. He greets the actress politely. She sternly tells him not to play so roughly with the child, warning that he will get dizzy. The actor holds the boy close again, explaining that he agreed to the movie hoping to see him often but this is their first meeting. This revelation shocks the actress, who asks in disbelief if he really joined because of the boy and not for the appearance fee. He smiles sweetly, admitting he only asked for transportation and meal expenses. The boy quietly wonders if he is not busy, and so the actor then holds the child up, declaring he wants to stake his claim on the adult role of his character, saying they look alike. The actress immediately hits him on the back, calling him a fool for saying such things. He internally agrees that he deserves it. He explains that his agent Soo Jung has excellent insight and would approve any project with the boy, adding this scenario was good. This makes the actress laugh heartily, and the two of them share a bright, cheerful moment together on the beach. The young boy watches them, his expression filled with a quiet curiosity as he observes their interaction. A hazy dreamlike image shows the two actors standing together, their faces washed out as they smile at each other. And so, a close-up of the boy's eye reveals a shimmering light, hinting that he might be seeing the connection between them. The nanny suggests they take a nap in their van since they have some free time before the next filming schedule begins. He gently tucks the young child in, making sure he is comfortable and ready to get some rest before his next scene. The guardian decides to read the boy's favorite story to help him fall asleep, but the child doubts it will work. Suddenly, the nanny looks up from his book with a surprised expression, hearing an unexpected voice just outside the van. He opens the van door and is surprised to see the veteran actress standing right there, and he greets her. The actress apologizes for the sudden visit and asks if he could do her a favor, saying he can refuse if needed. She hesitates for a moment, a bead of sweat on her face as she seems to gather her courage for an unusual request. She asks if she could take a nap next to the boy, explaining his lavender scent helps her overcome her insomnia, and the nanny immediately agrees, inviting her in and offering to sit in the front so she can rest comfortably in the back. Inside the van, she gently looks down at the boy and asks if it is alright for her to sleep beside him, and so the young actor looks up at her with wide eyes and then reaches out to gently tug on the sleeve of her shirt. As he closes his eyes, feeling safe and warm, he thinks about his past life, which often comes to mind in quiet moments. He remembers her from his past as Lee-han, Jo, wondering why the kind teacher took care of him when he had nothing. Cradled peacefully in her arms, he drifts off to sleep, wondering if she mourned his death in his previous life.